X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who spit facts online all the time. Can you see it? All the ones who drag my name every single day. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? They keep saying you don't have what it takes to carve out your own name underneath the shadows of gods. And I keep waiting for the day disbelievers say I flew way too close to the sun. I wait, but it never really comes. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who speak facts online all the time. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A force that compels all to rebel from all right shackled minds. Why do they just stand there against when they fall from the battles I have overcome? You feel it, feel the cope and the seething tone that they make while I stand up, man among gods. And I keep vaping with my mills, shooting ropes in my cold that faces towards the sun. They hate, but I'm sitting comfy with their mom. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who speak facts online all the time. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A force that compels all to rebel from all that shackled mind. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who speak facts online all the time. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A force that compels all to rebel from all right shackled minds. It's you and me, your mom, it's me. I'll take another hit from my name. You'll see now, watch me right now, punch your face now. Show you how.
Happy 4th of July, everybody! Hello, it's so good to see all of you. Hello there, Cleaver120, KCC, Bisu Do, Shoten LLC, Dead Heathen, what's up? Dan Share, good to see you. Coin Dog, what's up? Jared the Rabbit, how are you? Wingo, good to see you. Trans Daughter of Water, what's up? Susie Clem, BLM, what's up? I like that your name rhymes. I like people whose names rhyme, like they roll off the tongue well. People with names like that make me happy. Good to see you, Holic Master, the creator of that awesome theme song you guys just heard. Just got off of work? Hell yeah, JBZ. You make them do dry lands every day. I will say, though, unironically, probably the best swim routine would have been to do part of swim practice as dry lands every other swim practice day. They did do dry lands today? What day is it? Tuesday. So you do dry lands on Tuesdays? Interesting. My coach did them on Fridays. But to be fair, like, unironically, the best swimming practice would have been half of, depending on how long you have. I do, well, I did, I don't do. I did 2 hours every weekday, all year round, except for during the summers when we did it on weekend mornings. But we had 2 hours Sometimes 2.5 if we went extra late, which sometimes was fine. But 2 hours was the set amount. And trust me, those 2 hours went by slow. Okay, they were a slow 2 hours. It might have been 3, but I think it was just 2. And I think if like 1 hour had been dedicated to like getting into the water, just working out, calisthenics, laps, stuff like that. Maybe if we had a gym because it was hosted at a YMCA, so we could just go to the gym and then getting into the water for the other half of practice for like a hard practice, kickboards, IM relay or relay, 500 relays, so 100 of, or 400 relays, 100 each one for each swimmer. Like a really, really hard practice following up the dry lands like every other day, except for like the week of a meet. That would have made me and I think my team unbelievably good swimmers. It would have been miserable, and we would have complained and whined and bitched and moaned, but we would have been fucking insane, dude. We would have been fucking insane. It's a swim workout where every lap or after a certain number of laps, you get out and then work pit of the ground and then work out on the ground. Yeah, there's a few different exercises you'll do for dry lands. The worst is always put on the fins and get a board and then do a 50 of like, just do a 50 of kicks, right? Nothing but kicks, because you have to put the board out in front of you into a streamlined position, and so you can't use your arms at all. You are just kicking with I love the fins. Yeah, coaches love them. Swimmers hate them. And so you put on the fins and you start kicking and you put the board way out in front of you. No help from your arms or anything. It's just your legs keeping you afloat and propelling you forward. You do a 50 of that, and then you do like 25 dips. Usually what the coach would do is there would be a big timer, a giant plastic clock. Core and legs, yeah, then you get out of the pool, you do some leg lifts, you do some bicycle kicks, then we would do push-ups and stuff like that. Oh yeah, it's a lactic acid extravaganza. But our coach had this giant plastic clock. Literally this comical, giant plastic clock. Let me see if I can find... Maybe if I add pool next to it. I feel like this has got to be a consistent... Yep, here it is. I feel like every swim coach probably has one of these, but... Yep, clock. He would put a 60-second timer on this, or a 2 minute, and we would have to do dips. And then when the timer ran out, we would be able to do another lap. And then when you got back... You had to do a full rotation on the timer of dips or sit-ups or leg lifts or whatever, back into the pool, and do another lap with the kickboard. Those were hard days, especially after we had just done like proper dry lands where we're out of the water doing laps and lifting weights and doing calisthenics. Our coach would line us up in pairs and have us throw medicine balls back and forth at each other. Like find 2 people of equal strength, give them the heaviest medicine ball they can handle, throwing at each other, and have us throw them back and forth. We'd do everything. Getting nostalgia about my swimming days? Hell yeah, Kavinsky. Hey Xanderhall, I have a link for you. What's this, D-Lancer?
Pride Month is officially over. However, that doesn't mean the conversation is...
No, I hate this channel. I'm pretty sure this channel is cringe. I've seen videos of theirs pop up in my recommended, and they seem cringe. God, I do not miss swim team. I miss it a lot, but like as a thing that happened in the past that I wouldn't redo. So I see Xanderhall going to talk about Blair White after a while. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Blair White. It's been a bit, yeah. Hot damn. That's a lot of people already here. Thank you all so much for coming out already. 432 people here already. That is very, very kind of you guys. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. If any of you watching right now want to support the stream, you can do so for completely free. It really does help out my channel just by hitting the thumbs up button over on YouTube. Hitting like really does go a long way. It helps a lot. It's completely free. Takes half a second, and I do appreciate every one of you who does that. And of course, if you've got the money for it and you can afford it, you can always help to keep a roof over my head and the lights on, and help keep this show going by either donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live. We love a little bit of white name genocide in website chat. It's always a good thing to see. And you can also support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, or Patreon. You can also buy merch. But thank you. I do appreciate it to everyone who's even just here hanging out, because just being here is very much appreciated. But those are always options you can take advantage if you want to help me out. Every little bit counts. BRB, it's hot as fuck and I'm sweaty and dying. Shower time. I have been there, and I'm going to get nice and sweaty during this stream. You better believe it. Get everyone Wide Peepo Happy privileges? Yep, you gotta have a colored name in order to have Wide Peepo Happy privileges. Oh, speaking of subs, J-Spoon, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I didn't even notice that. Thank you, thank you. Let me add that to the dono goal. I appreciate that. Thank you for the $5. Very base. Didn't even say anything. Hell yeah. I like how as soon as I go live, my eyes start to hurt for no reason. I think it's because I'm straining to read the chat. I'm going to turn off the light. We're going to do another Xander Dark stream, okay? It's actually way easier on my eyes, and it honestly doesn't look bad on camera. I think this lighting looks okay. Oh my god, hey everyone, very excited to catch the live stream. I'm about to go for a hike while the sun is setting with my camera. Hell yeah! Xan Dark, Darker Hall. You need glasses? No, I don't. I've got really good I got good vision. But I will say, sitting in front of a computer all day, straining my eyes at the monitor. Well, they don't strain if there's not a light on. If it's dark in the room and I'm looking at the screen, it's easy. But if there's a light shining in my eyes, then I kind of have to squint my eyes in order to not have the light shine into them and be uncomfortable. And also, it's hard. That makes it hard to read the chat. So yeah. Who is Xander Hall's villains? I have many villains. I'm like Spider-Man. How are you doing, Xan, besides your eyes? Pretty good, honestly. I feel good. I'm having a great day. I hope you're having a good day. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Dark Xander. Kesdupe, thank you for the $10 donation on my website. Hot damn, I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. It really goes a long way and means a lot to me. Hot damn. It says, hi, Teehee X. Thank you. I appreciate that. JBZO2, thanks for the tier 1 sub gifted to Luna XD. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the $5. Says, I'm still trying to better my butterfly stroke. My kick is good, but my left arm doesn't have a good pull. Just needs a little more work. Perfect practice makes perfect. But at the same time, like, for me, I just wasn't built for butterfly. But it seems like if you just have a few issues with it, then maybe you are built for it. Because that just wasn't for me. I was great at freestyle and breaststroke. And I could not do back or fly. That was just not in my skill set. I wasn't talented naturally at those strokes. I'm sure if I practiced it, I would have gotten good at it. But, you know, it was not something I ever felt like practicing. If that makes sense. But thank you, JBZ. I really appreciate that. That really does mean a lot and goes a long way. Let me update the dono goal really quick. That puts us at $20 Redinos. Thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate it. I don't float. I sink in water. You can float. Hey, Soaked on left. Xan liked to stroke breasts. Yeah, I love stroking breasts. It's my favorite thing to do in the whole world. I like the stream. Thank you, Soak, done left. I appreciate that, bro. I can float too, and I'm pretty damn skinny. You just have to hold your breath. You just have to take a deep inhale, real deep. Fill yourself up with as much air as you can and you'll float. Having a little extra fat on you helps, but yeah, the fatter you are, the easier it is for you to float. Being skinny, contrary to what you might think, makes you more likely to sink. The denser and skinnier you are, the more likely you are to sink, and you have to take deep breaths to float. Yeah, you want to flatten yourself out, too. Oh, by the way, a friend of mine is coming back from Britain, and he bought me 2 vapes. I'm repaying him by buying him 2 Blow-High. Very cool, very neat, very epic. I was a fat lifeguard, had an easier time than my skinny friends. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me to swim, I have to actually, like, work to keep myself above the water. But, like, if you're heavier, if you're, like, fat, then you can just kind of float easier. So that actually makes you a superior swimmer, because you can put all your effort into just propelling. The blow-high economy is inflating. Okay. Listen, guys, I really appreciate you all coming out today. Y'all are awesome. Now, really quick, I'm going to get the tabs for the relevant first topic we're going to be covering up. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to edge you guys a little bit. That's right. We're going to do a little bit of classic Xander Hall stream edging. And what I mean by that is I know what segment you guys are most excited to see today. You guys want to hear about Anna Kasparian leaving the left. So I'm going to save that for a little later. Not too much later, but I'm not going to cover it first. That's right. That's right. I'm going to edge you guys a little bit. Because I know that's what you're here to see. I'm not going to... you know, you always leave them wanting more, you know? You always want to leave them wanting a little more, right? And so, we're going to start with Blair White. Not cool, bruh? It's my stream. I'm allowed to pick at what order I cover things, you know? I'm allowed to do that. I'm allowed to do that. You liar, I came for Blair White? That's kind of weird that you would just announce that you came for Blair White in my chat, but okay. I mean... if you're into conservative women, I guess that's your prerogative.
Let's talk about...
Zan gets to bully us a little as a treat. A little? No, I bully you guys nonstop. I bully you guys in ways that you haven't even picked up on, okay? Okay. The stream lagged and made it 20 times funnier? Oh, okay. I didn't see any issues with the stream's connection. That's weird. It must have been on YouTube's end. For once. Ugh. I am also tired today, chat. That also contributes to my eyes being a little bit watery. Ugh. Alright. You all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1. Action. Well, everybody, Blair White has dropped another video. God damn, 181,000 views in 2 days. She is still pulling viewership, which is quite sad when you consider how many times she's been, like, blown out as a blatant liar. Not even, like, an accidental liar, by the way. Like, sometimes people, you know, end up accidentally spreading falsehoods, a little bit of accidental misinformation. Blair White has done it in ways that very evidently prove that she does not care about the truth or care about having any responsibility for her platform. You see, it used to be back in the day, like back in 2019, 2018, Blair White had a very broad audience. Her appeal was in the makeup community, the tea community, like a lot of trans people loved her because she was just a large trans YouTuber, and so they just kind of ran with that, right? She had an insane amount of broad appeal. And over time, she started to out herself as a grifter. The biggest thing that hit people the hardest and ended up causing Blair White the most trouble was a few years ago when she made a video about trans athletes. and specifically referred to a trans woman who's a professional powerlifter named Janae Marie Kroc. You see, Janae Marie Kroc was a professional, originally men's bodybuilder, but then transitioned and came out as a woman, and still lifts, but does not lift professionally and does not lift in a woman's league. Blair White, though, just kind of found some images of Janae Marie Kroc and just assumed she read maybe 2 lines of her story, found a couple of her Instagram posts, and assumed a bunch of shit and filled in the blanks herself, and made a whole video lambasting her as a trans woman athlete who's quote-unquote actually a man, rolling in to steal the thunder from female powerlifters. This was blatantly false, and Janae Marie Kroc had her own little following on Instagram that was actually, enough to get some attention, and Blair White ended up getting a lot of shit for this and had to rescind her statements and apologize. And Blair lost a lot of subs, and it opened a lot of people's eyes to how dishonest Blair White is. Moving forward, these are a few scandals that were a little bit less big, but still hurt her to an extent and make it clear how big of a liar she is. She demonstrably lied about her political compass test results in order to appease her right-wing audience. She did a political compass test in one of her videos. Okay, cool. All right, who cares, right? And she does it, and she shows her results, and the results show that she got into the libertarian left category. Just barely into the libertarian, libertarian right category. Just barely into the libertarian right category, the little yellow quadrant. And this is what you would, if you watched Blair White's content and were a fan of Blair White, would both hope and expect she'd get as the result, right? Here's the thing, though. She did a little bit of an oopsie. Because the way that the political compass test works is that every identical result has the same URL. If we answer all of the same questions and get the same and put in the same answers, we will have, and the test is the same every time, you will have the same result as me. And our URLs for our results page will be the same. I think you can find out where we're going with this here. People typed in the URL of Blair White's result page. And the result that came up was a staunch libertarian left. Bottom left category. Lib. It's like, oh? And then on top of that, like that's pretty hard evidence, I suppose, but it goes further than that. That's not where it ends. People looked even closer at the video where she has, showed her results, and you can see one of the tabs she has open on the top of the page is a Google Images search query for libertarian political compass test result. So it is evident that what she did, and she totally forgot to close it in her video, so the evidence is right there. She was caught red-handed. So what she did was she got a bottom left libertarian, or a libertarian left political compass test result, knew that her audience would be upset about that, and she only cares about money. She's not interested in the truth or honestly representing what she believes. So she went on to Google Images, found a libertarian right political compass test result, elemented it into the place of the original image, and then tried to pass it off as real, but got caught. But that is a far less serious lie than another one that she told. I'll show you guys actually the blatant example of this, because it's one of the most evil things Blair White has ever done. I just want you guys to remember this going into this video, because I want to clarify, people who dislike Blair White are not operating on some misguided belief, okay? All right. Let me bring it up. Okay. So Blair White put out a video 3 years ago now. This is an old one. This is one that I covered back, like, it's been just 3 years now, probably, by the day. But yeah, covered this a few years ago. It's stuck with me, okay? It's one of the most evil things she's done, and this video has 1.3 million views. So she spread this lie to 1.3 million people. Just about. I mean, there could have been repeat watches. Regardless, this is the clip that, like, really sticks with me because it's one of the most blatant lies she's ever told.
Knowledge that there's just differences. And honestly, there's a lot that we can learn from each other. And honestly, aside from that, what I think is a bit dangerous is when we blur the lines between science and medicine and medical care. Recently, the Canadian Cancer Society put up a website for transgender women and cervical cancer screening. Except there isn't a trans woman alive that has a cervix, so they can't get cervical cancer.
So, she makes that claim, and she even shows the page for the Canadian Cancer Society's thing on this. And she it's kind of weird how she crops it, isn't it? How she crops it right here. If you're a trans woman, you may have not given much thought to Pap tests and cervical cancer. And if you haven't, that makes a fair amount of sense. After all, in order to get cervical cancer, you need to have a cervix. That is the organ that connects the vagina to the uterus. And then it just kind of, you know, cuts off around there. You can't really read much further. If we actually go to the page that she shows, very purposefully cutting it off at the next paragraph, we can actually read that next paragraph that's cut off. If, however, you are a trans woman who has had bottom surgery to create a vagina, a vaginoplasty, and possibly a cervix, there's a very small risk that you can develop cancer in the tissues of your neovagina or neocervix. The risk depends on the type of surgery you had, the type of tissue used to create your vagina and cervix, and your personal health history. Talk to your healthcare provider to figure out your specific cancer screening needs as part of your overall pelvic health following surgery. So, Blair White just blatantly lies about what the Canadian Cancer Society, a organization like dedicated to fighting cancer, lied about them to make them look cringe and bad because they're pro-trans, and lied about the science behind why trans women can get cervical cancer, and then says they're the ones abandoning science. So you need to remember, this is the level of demonic behavior we're dealing with when we operate around Blair White, okay? But she put out a new video. She does this series called Reacting to Woke TikTokers Who Hate Me, and she's done a new one. It came out just 2 days ago, so let's check it out. All the people who hate Blair White are fully in their right to hate her. However, chances are, judging by the fact that it's Blair White who has made this video, she is going to probably be filtering for the most hard-to-defend examples of people who don't like her. That's kind of the point of making videos like this. But let's watch.
About my issues with Blair White.
Idiot. Idiot. Who are you trying to pander to? Obviously conservative, but why?
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I thought today we would have a little bit of fun. Can we have fun, or is everything so serious all the time? Today we're going to be reacting to TikTokers who hate me, which is all of them. No, really. I mean, if you're on the Call Me app, if you're on the Chinese spyware app, you're not exactly part of the Blair White army, and I would say that's okay.
If you're on the commie Chinese spyware app, you're not part of the Blair White army. Has she... Okay. Listen. I swear this isn't transphobic, but has she recently gotten plastic surgery? Because she looks different. I know she's making, like, a weird face here, but she looks different. Like, just overall. It could be makeup. I was thinking that too. Yeah, she looks different. Remember, guys, she hates trans people and thinks that they're, like, delusional, and she's actually a man. She's truly a male. But that's not going to stop her from spending the enormous amount of money she makes off of grifting off these retards. Spending it on further feminizing herself because she damn well knows that she's a woman and that everything she says about trans people is bullshit.
but it's really not. Get well soon. You may remember last time we did this, there was a woke trans activist who made a TikTok about me saying I'm a horrible representation of trans people.
Blair White is another one of those ultra privileged.
Oh yeah, no, she looks different. And also she does not... She was prettier before. Has to be Botox? Yeah, I think it's Botox. And she looked prettier before.
Trans people that I will never understand because she hasn't struggled like most of us trans people have struggled, and so she just doesn't fully understand. She has a lot of really problematic views, and
also, of all the people on the internet that deserves to be body shamed, Blair White is allowed to get body shamed, okay? Lefties are allowed to body shame Blair White because she has made roughly 95% of her career out of body shaming trans people, mostly underage trans people. So the level of bullying that I could inflict upon Blair for her appearance in one stream, or even 100 streams, does not mount on the level that she deserves for the amount of children she's bullied. Just throwing that out there.
why I think she's worse than Caitlyn Jenner is because she spreads misinformation, like literally fake news, but she also, you know, just has like really strong opinions that are very transphobic.
I'm gonna bet she's gonna be like, what misinformation have I spread? Very glad that I started this segment off with a little bit of a very small sample, by the way. Those 3 examples, as bad as they were, very small sample of the lies and misinfo Blair makes a pretty big habit out of spreading.
That are very problematic, that are very racist, that are very ableist, and that are very classist. And I, you know, think that she's the worst representation of what a trans person can be.
And you may also recognize that very same TikToker as the trans woman who was banned from the White House for stripping. So, you know, I'm not going to say that's God. I'm not going to.
I like I said, Blair White is not really known for actually responding to criticisms of her because the things she does are indefensible. So she'll just kind of find random TikTokers that have like gone on a rant for their private following that's not really meant to be like a call out post or like it's not meant to be like a Blair White, respond to this and let's see what you can do. I want Blair to try to respond to one of my videos on her. I want her to try to respond to one of my videos on her. She won't do that. Because in my videos, I just end up giving a bunch of examples and showing them off of her blatantly lying and only caring about money and the grift. There's a lot more examples we could go through.
Say that's karma, but what I am going to say is I paid for a voodoo priestess to make something really bad happen to you. So let's react to some more and see what happens to them 9 months from now.
I'm weaker.
What did she just say? I hired a blue priestess. What? What? Was that a joke about something that I don't understand? She paid a voodoo priestess. She said voodoo. I heard blue. Okay, that's weird. Okay, so she says she paid a voodoo priestess to curse that woman because that woman made a TikTok and doesn't like her. I heard blue as well. Yeah, I heard blue. Well, to be fair, she currently has, like, toxins from a blowfish in her skin that are, like, pulling her skin taut like this. So, voodoo kind of does sound like blue when you do this. You can kind of test it yourself.
From now.
I'm weaker. I'm stupider. I'm an idiot. I'm a f***ing idiot.
Well, let me just say, when someone tells you who they are, believe them. And you're the one chanting how you're an idiot right now. Gotta say it fits.
Blair White, a transgender woman after siding with far-right conservatives. They hate trans people and want them all to die. I don't... Blair, that's not... Not understanding the meme format is not a gotcha. The meme format is where you play the role of the person you're making fun of. So your response was just to say, no, you? That's it? Your response is no, you? Like, in your skit where you pretend to be me, you say I'm an idiot. So actually, you're calling yourself an idiot. Got you! Like, what kind of, like, kindergarten playground logic is that? There is something funny about this content in which you realize very quickly that all of the gotchas are like elementary school playground tier.
You know, I've been saying this. Can cool people please take back colored hair? Because every time I see someone with green hair and Blair White in the tags, I just know it's going to be negative. Like, I should not be able to just tell via your hair color that you're a non-binary communist who snorts their antidepressants, but I can, and that's an issue. So
she's gotten consistently more hateful in her rhetoric. She doesn't even try to be like substantive or like to make any arguments. She just kind of insults the people that don't like her. Like, it's literally finding people on TikTok that have made TikToks where they don't like her. Never any that are like substantive that provide like examples of how she's a piece of shit. Just random people like just making a random little thing and then like bullies them for it. Snorts their antidepressants. Oh, Blair White is definitely on antidepressants. Blair White is certainly suicidal. 100%. But the right kind of demonizes the idea of caring about mental health. They push this idea that conservatives are inherently very mentally well people. If they get sad, they just drink a beer and they feel better. They don't need medication. They don't need therapy, anything like that. That's a soft, weak, liberal thing. And so being mentally ill, having any trauma, taking medication for any mental conditions or disorders, that's like a soft thing for like libs or whatever. Real men, real conservatives just drink a beer when they're sad, you know? Their schizophrenia can be cured with a simple beer. Not Bud Light, of course, but, you know, just sit down and drink a beer.
if we could just take back colored hair, maybe, you know, if it gets cool enough again, I'll join you. I would love to maybe put some like pink tips or something. Just, you know, something not annoying.
Girl, please be serious, because how are you going to post this? Alright, so you posted that when you have a full video on YouTube explaining why you kept your penis. And I'm not judging what you did. I don't care what anyone does with their body. Keep it, get rid of it. I don't really care. But what is this tweet? And this isn't the first time you have used the same exact images.
Yeah, it's the fucking time where she made the video about how she's keeping her penis and then tweeted, if you see a bulge in a conservative woman's pants, it's a gun. If you see a bulge in a liberal woman's pants, it's a penis. And then it's her holding a gun, but she's a conservative woman with a penis. She tried to talk it away like, it was a joke. You guys are taking the joke too seriously. It's like, no one's taking the joke seriously. People are making fun of you for the fact the joke actually makes fun of you. And it does not seem like you knew that when you posted it.
And the same exact words. Who are you trying to pander to? Obviously conservatives, but why? How much are they paying you? Because I want to get in on some of that action then.
So it really is also a hallmark of the wokey that they are unable to perceive humor. So me making a joke,
yeah,
me making a comical tweet.
Yes, a joke that attacks you, and I don't think you knew that when you posted it. I think you're trying to like talk it down that way, but I don't think anybody believes that you knew what you were doing when you posted it. I think you're trying to like make yourself seem less like you did a cell phone.
That went viral because it was that funny.
Wokey?
Of course, goes right over their head.
Guys, got pre-watch? No, I don't pre-watch any of this shit. Wokey, no, listen. These people have unironically gotten to the point where in 3 to 6 months, the word woke is going to be on the tier of what SJW is now. You know how, like, nobody says SJW unironically anymore? Like, nobody. Like, it's sometimes thrown around by, like, the people that are making the biggest fools out of themselves, but, like, it got so overused, and people realized how pointless the word was that nobody says it anymore. Woke is very quickly on its way out in the same way. Woke means the same thing. And it is very quickly on its way out in the same way. These people have overused it and used it to describe everything. Before it was SJW, it was PC. Exactly. It was politically correct or PC before that, and then it was SJW, and then everyone realized that, wait, SJW is just a baseless insult that random assholes are throwing around at people who have, like, beliefs they disagree with. And it dies off. And then a new word that means the same thing gets pushed on, and then the same cycle starts over again. It's just a new young generation of people that don't know about the first thing that happened or any of the previous that fall for the Same grift over and over again with a new wrapping paper. I mean, she is the chick who went on a panel show and got 3-on-1 dogpiled by fascists who kept telling her to grow a mustache and shit. Yeah, remember when she went on that one debate with Lauren Witzke, the Nazi lady? And the Nazi lady was like telling her, I don't care. Just grow out your mustache and, be a man and stop living in delusion. I don't care if you are different from the other trans people and you don't support it for kids and you don't push it on kids. You are a man and you should just accept that. And Blair White's like, but I need to explain to you, I'm not like the other trans people. I'm not like the others. I don't believe in like transitioning kids. Like, she's so desperately trying to get the approval of this woman that is vitriolically calling her a man and telling her to grow out her mustache.
Heads. And of course,
yeah, it was like, grow out your mustache and leave the kids alone. Yeah.
Because these type of people only project how they actually feel about minorities. Me making a joke or me having a certain opinion or me saying anything has to be pandering to someone. It can't just be genuinely coming out of my mouth and genuine to who I am. It can't just be a joke I'm making. It has to be me trying to pander to someone. Well, I promise you it's not that deep. It's certainly not any deeper than the hole that exists in your brain.
So the problem that I have with Blair White and a lot of other people have is that, like, she's the most transgender person. And, like, what I mean by that is she very much, like, expects everyone that is transgender to be very, like, binary. She kind of, like, invalidates trans people by saying they're not, masculine or feminine enough. Or if they haven't had enough surgeries, they're not trans. And she's, like, a Republican Trump supporter, like.
So one of the funniest things about being a public figure is that people just tend to create little narratives about you, and it just is true.
All the things she just said are true. All those things are true. I like how it's literally like, I'm going to respond to people who don't like me. Here's a clip from a random teenage TikToker. Let's include their @ in the image there too, by the way, so people can harass them. Just responding to a random comment about, wait, what's wrong with Blair White Lamau?
True because enough people say it. So people love saying that I sit up here and really make videos judging people's passability or how feminine or masculine they are, when in reality, that's actually just not true. Like, if I bring up a person's looks, it's because
Zan, the first video I ever saw of Blair White was her talking about how much she hates non-binary people. Yeah, of course, yeah. She does not see non-binary people as trans people or valid.
It's relevant to the argument that that person is making. For example, you want to be called a they, them. Why do you look entirely like a woman?
Like, Blair White has, oh, this is a big one. Holy shit. This is another thing that Blair White does. So if Blair White doesn't like a trans person, it doesn't matter how much they pass. She will make them not pass for her content. If this makes sense. Hold on. Blair White. Blair White, a while back, made a video about a journalist who criticized her, who's like a femme-presenting non-binary person, I believe. I don't know all the details of this person. And this person's like very femme-looking, but that doesn't really look good for Blair White's thumbnail, right? To have like a pretty attractive femme person like criticizing her. So what did Blair White do? She got on Photoshop and photoshopped a beard onto them for the thumbnail. Literally photoshopped the beard in. She's done it many times. She's photoshopped beards onto several people. Yeah, badly too. She's photoshopped beards onto several trans women that she's covered. If you are like a very passing trans person who criticizes her, she will put a beard on you in her thumbnail. Because she needs to like immediately skew negatively the opinion. Because a lot of her audience are young trans people. It's very unfortunate, but Blair is the largest trans content creator, I think, besides maybe ContraPoints. ContraPoints might be a little bit smaller than her. So for a lot of young trans people, Blair White is the the person they look up to because she is the largest trans YouTuber. And she's trying to condition those young trans people into thinking the same way she does. So she wants them to see, oh, a trans person with a beard criticized me, immediately they should not be listened to. Immediately they are wrong. They are an SJW. They are woke. Throw them out. Don't listen to them. And so she just does that, you know, and she can kind of talk it off as a joke or whatever, but the intention is pretty obvious. If you pass too much to be the like stereotypical like Blair White hater, as she would have you believe, she will Photoshop you to not pass.
Man, you want to be
pretty
called
crazy,
he,
dude.
and you are wearing a push-up bra. Your appearance is probably relevant in why you're not getting called he, him. So the lie that not having enough surgeries means that I don't.
Blair White's videos are about why you shouldn't call trans people by their preferred pronouns. But then she makes videos responding to people criticizing her logic and says, you're upset that people won't call you your preferred pronouns. And it's like, no. Nobody said they're upset because they're having people constantly not properly gender them in public. That's not what the complaint was. The complaint was that you make a career out of arguing why you shouldn't respect trans people's identities. So this isn't about like, oh, this person is incapable of operating in public and insists that other people use their preferred pronouns and they're super unlikable. No, they're arguing specifically about what you believe, Blair.
Think you're trans enough. No, the line I've always drawn is you're not trans if you don't transition, which is a very common sense line to draw.
Oh, and if people who don't like you transition, then you Photoshop a beard onto them. How, like, Blair White's done this many times. The beard photoshopping thing, she's had to apologize for before. She's done it to drag queens and stuff as well. Like, she will just make you not have transitioned if she doesn't like you.
It's kind of the bare minimum. It's kind of like saying a man who isn't attracted to men is gay, or like a woman who isn't attracted to women is a lesbian. No, there are very simple definitions for these things, and so those definitions are often important. And I've only ever had...
Blair, interesting how the entirety of the scientific community is pretty in disagreement with your definition of what is or isn't trans, considering that the definition of transgender, word for word, is someone who identifies as a gender different from the one they were assigned at birth. There is nothing in the definition that clarifies a transgender person as somebody who was born a male or female but identifies as the opposite sex or as the opposite gender. Nothing, no wording along those lines in any scientific or medical literature whatsoever. So like, where does that come from if not just her ass? It just comes from her ass. She's shitting this opinion out onto a plate and expecting us to believe that it's like scientifically backed.
one surgery in my life, so I'm not exactly seeing why you think that I believe trans people have to have all these surgeries. No, it's just there should be some transition taking place if you call yourself a trans person.
So, I should also mention, because she doesn't really make arguments in her videos anymore because there's so much hate for trans people now that she can just kind of be hateful, like overtly mask off hateful in her videos and just get away with it. YouTube doesn't care as well. YouTube's getting sued for like dishonesty with their advertising and stuff. They don't care about Nazis or far-right people who break their TOS paying to like advertise their shit with Google. But the interesting thing that Blair will do is she recognizes that the left has the truth on their side, but the left has the difficult position of having to long-windedly explain the truth to people who've been lied to. So what she'll just do is lie and be wrong and then do a smug little at the camera. You know what those smug little winks and smiles at the camera are for, right? They're for trans people and lefties that don't like her and know how full of shit she is. Because being wrong is not enough to be an effective conservative pundit. But expressing wrong beliefs and being smug as fuck about how wrong you are, that will get you very far as a conservative pundit. Because it triggers lefties, because they have to, like, sincerely explain the truth as you, like, disaffectedly, knowing that you're full of shit, lie and then smugly smile. That's the conservative line, right? Because you have so much you have to say just to debunk one lie. And so that's what those little smug winks and smiles at the camera are for. In case you guys didn't know. Very, very common conservative tactic. Ben Shapiro really pioneered it. Matt Walsh does it well.
How did we get here? How did this happen? Did the frogs finally get to him? Did the frogs bring up some good points? Like, I know they're both bad people. I'm just confused. That's all.
You stay confused, babe. Because oftentimes, if you're confused and everyone else is kind of understanding, the problem might be you.
Wait, Blair White thinks that everyone else, quote unquote, likes Alex Jones? Alex Jones just got sued for claiming that a school shooting was a false flag and the survivors the families of the dead children are crisis actors, and thus sent his audience to harass them. He just got sued and lost for millions of dollars. Multiple lawsuits for spreading misinfo on that area. Everybody dislikes Alex Jones and thinks of him as a joke, or they're insane and super far right. What do you mean everyone else? Everyone else just means the audience she's appealing to, I guess? Yeah, I mean, she knows. Shoe on Head does a very similar thing. Ironically enough, Shoe on Head and Blair White are very similar.
I want Blair White to stick her head in a pool full of lava because she's f***ing awful.
True.
I can smell this video.
I recently watched a
This is the level of, like, engaging with disagreement Blair White does, by the way. She did a debate recently with Destiny. But from what I heard, it wasn't much of a debate because Destiny agrees with Blair White now, so it's not really a debate, more so a conversation. So, like, she doesn't debate anybody who disagrees with her. It's bizarre.
Video where Blair White and
I wonder why.
Jeffree Star both were agreeing that they them pronouns are not valid. And I have a question for the transgender and trans supporting people who agree with this. What is a transgender person to do when ontologically they do not fit into either category neatly? Are they supposed to affirm their gender against physical appearances, or stay closeted for the rest of their life? Or maybe, does it make more sense for them to go by gender neutral pronouns to kind of meet society where it's at?
So my response would be, you're not meeting society where it's at by adopting they them pronouns. You're actually going against society, because people
For one, based, if you're going against society, there's nothing wrong with that. I thought, wait, is conservatism... I like how we're now arguing that the concept of going against society is not punk rock. These are the people who claim conservatism is the new punk rock. It's the new counterculture. And now they're letting slip that being non-binary is going against society. Okay, very cool. That nice admission that being non-binary is punk. But also... they, them pronouns are not very much going against society, because a lot of conservatives kind of forget English class. Like, they've literally forgotten high school English, or I should honestly say elementary school English. Let me have a quick, like, conversation to myself very quick to demonstrate an example of how they, them singular pronouns have been used for a very long time. Hey, John, did you call the Uber? Yeah, Travis, I did. They're on their way. Oh, yeah, when will they get here? Yeah, about 5 minutes. Awesome. How many theys and theirs did you hear in there? That was a completely, like, fine conversation. Yeah, schizophrenic Zan. Like, that conversation was completely grammatically correct. That is a conversation you'd hear on the street. Like you could imagine walking down the street, like, at night, see two guys walking outside of a bar and, like, hear them talking and saying that, right? I just said them, you know? Like, you can imagine that, right? We use they, them gender-neutral pronouns for singular people all the fucking time. Particularly when we're in a situation where we don't know what their gender is. If you don't know what their pronouns are, because you just know that you have an Uber coming to pick you up, it's a person in a certain car, and you know the color of the car, you would say they, them, because you don't know what gender they are. Maybe once you see them, you would assume their gender. Like, if they have a beard, you'd be like, it's a guy. So you'd say he, him, like, yeah, the Uber driver's here, he's here. But if it was a woman with, like, long hair, presumably a woman, you'd probably say she, her, and you would be like, yeah, she's here. But we use gender-neutral pronouns all the time. If Blair White wanted to make the argument she's making now and have it even apply to this situation, it would be, like, neo-pronouns.
People who subscribe to gender ideology can try as hard as they want to make they, them a thing, but it's just not going to happen.
Gretchen, stop trying to make
the they and them
happen. It's not going to happen.
A fucking Mean Girls reference? There's something about, like, snotty conservative women and referencing Mean Girls. Shoe on Head did it with, like, the gay groomers shit. Blair White does it with non-binary people. Is there just, like... Is Mean Girls just a movie that, like, millennial white women who are obnoxious as fuck, like, still... Like, did they watch this movie and, like, idolize the women in the movie? Because it's a parody of, like, the stereotypes of, like, the bitchiest, worst women you can imagine. And they watched this movie. These millennial white women watched this movie, and they were like, I want to be them. I genuinely think that racism is okay as long as it's against white women. Not misogyny, racism. I firmly believe this. No, I'm just kidding. But, like, no. In all seriousness, though, like, this is a type of femoid I've encountered, and I don't like them.
It's an unnatural way of speaking. It doesn't make sense. And all I'm saying is you can go by whatever pronouns you want, and you are free to do that.
Wait, it's an unnatural way of speaking? What do you mean it's an unnatural way of speaking? They just said what they said. I've literally seen Blair White use they, them pronouns on accident all the fucking time. The only time... I've watched conservatives use they, them pronouns while explaining... without realizing that they used it like correctly, like in a sentence, while explaining why they, them pronouns are not okay.
However, the expectation for people around you, especially strangers, to just know that you go by they, them, and if you don't, you're filming them in the drive-thru like we see so often on TikTok, you're yelling at people on the street, you're upset because they didn't call you a they, them, that's a you.
This is a made-up fantasy. There are not trans people. There are far more trans people being murdered and assaulted than freaking out on the street because people didn't gender them correctly. Like, there's a reason why these people have to, like, signal boost every single example that ever happens of this. It's why, like, to this day, you will still see that one video from 2017, I think it is, of the trans woman in the GameStop saying, "It's ma'am." You still see that video shared around as if it's current and recent to this day. It's from 2017. Those clips and videos, no matter how grainy and obviously old they are, and how outdated the phone that recorded it is at this point, they will still pass them around as if that was a clip that came out yesterday, because they need to push this idea. It's all about the here and now with these conservative figures. They don't have any plans or future for this country. They're all grifting assholes who only care about maximizing their bottom dollar. So they will lie and cheat and do whatever dishonest thing they can in their most recent video, no matter how much it fucks them over tomorrow, because they only care about this video making as much money as possible. They don't care about how much it contradicts what they said in their last video. They only care about this video getting more views and making more money than the last one. That's it. That's all they care about.
You problem, baby girl. People don't speak that way. People don't use they, them for an individual person they see right in front of them and for which they can see their secondary sex characteristics. The only time they, them is used for an individual person is if their secondary sex characteristics are not clearly visible, like someone cut you off in traffic, but you...
wait, okay, so you know that it is correct grammatically, but also for non-binary people too. Also, she just used they a bunch of times.
Can't see who's driving the car who did it. Oh, they cut me off. You're not going to say he or she because you can't really see. But 99% of the time...
Okay, so you accept that it's natural, it flows naturally, and it's grammatically correct.
An individual is standing in front of you, your brain is registering them as male or female, and you're going to inherently say
them,
he or she. So it's just not a natural way of speaking, and you're not going to get people to start using it. Sorry, it's just not going to happen.
I cut that bitch.
She used they and them multiple times without realizing it. In that sentence. To describe this hypothetical person. And she just finished the it's not natural to use they them in a sentence argument.
Head off and walk away giggling. It do not make sense to me.
Imagine holding a political position because you want people to...
So what seems to be happening is that, like, trans people on TikTok who are, like, 12, 13, 14 years old are discovering Blair White because she's the largest trans content creator. And, like, slightly older trans people who already figured out Blair White's a piece of shit are like, why do you like Blair White? Do you not know how much of a piece of shit she is? And so there's, like, this TikTok civil war going on. And I guess Blair White's taking examples from the people who don't like her.
to like you rather than because you genuinely think it's true. Can't relate. Not a collectivist over here. Not wanting to be part of some group. Just wanting to say things how I see it. And that has
well, you're saying whatever makes you the most money.
All to do with who likes it or who doesn't like it. Plenty of conservatives do not like it. I'm hated by plenty of conservatives, but I'm hated by a lot more liberals. I will say that. And if we're just going to measure which side has truth,
yes, you're hated by conservatives for being trans. They think you're subhuman. They would like to see you dead, but you're also a useful tool. That's why they pay you so much. But yeah, the left doesn't like you because you're a bad person. You're hated for a reason. Saying that the left hates me more than the right, and I'm trans, does not mean that the right is less transphobic, because you're a piece of shit, and that's why the left hates you.
treated me better over the years. I think anyone knows the answer.
Creator Blair White wants you to know that, yes, she is prettier than you.
In other news, I am having FFS next Friday specifically so that Blair White can never say that again. This surgery is not for gender affirmation, it's for gender retaliation.
This lady is objectively prettier than Blair White. I'm just saying it. This lady is just objectively prettier than Blair White, and I'm not even saying that because she's calling out Blair White. This is just an objective fact, unironically. Like, I think Blair knows it.
So you're getting surgery so that I can never tell you that I'm prettier than you again when I have never said that in my life.
Well, Blair, your whole... You made the argument earlier in the video. It was a little bit mask on, I suppose, but you made the argument that you consider people trans when they have transitioned, and you have very strict standards for what having transitioned enough is. So, yeah, a trans person would be able to joke that they are getting a trans-affirming surgery, and that would make it so that you wouldn't be able to say they aren't trans. Because your whole content's about how you do like attacking the appearance of the people you go after. Unfortunate that you picked this example, though, because you're kind of getting blown the fuck out here, not gonna lie.
Sounds healthy. Sounds like a totally rational reason to cut your face up. Did you tell the doctor that first?
You literally just got Botox, and we can tell.
Shout out to you.
You have venom. You have a fucking... You put a neurotoxin in your body. Blair, you had a neurotoxin injected into your skin. We can tell. Also, you've gotten FFS. I'm pretty sure them titties weren't homegrown. Like, you've gotten hormones. You've transitioned. You've gotten surgeries and, like, procedures and all that shit. Your lips have been filled. Like, yeah, like, you've gotten... You get your eyebrows done. She gets her eyebrows done. She gets her hair done. She puts on makeup. Like, she does all these things to be more femininely presenting. Like, how is she going to shit on somebody for doing that to meet the standard of society when she's enforcing that standard and does the exact same thing? It's blatant hypocrisy. Is Blair has had venom injected? Does that mean she is going to fight Carnage? Yes. She has the symbiote.
Hope your surgery goes well, but I didn't even know you existed, sis. And it really is such a crazy thing to me. Like, reacting to people who are making TikToks about me really gives me a clearer view, I guess, of like...
You're irrelevant. I'm rice gum. You're irrelevant.
The public perception to me, especially from people who don't like me, obviously, but 99% of the time it has to do with looks. It has to do with people saying that I feel like I look better than people, or I'm prettier than people, or I'm judging people's looks, and it's like...
Well, it's because you're literally one of the most evidently vain and surface level, shallow people you could possibly conceive of. And because you're trans, everybody knows that you're trying to be that. Like, it's not even that Blair White is, like, naturally predisposed to be this bitchy. She's trying to act like this. She's socialized herself to behave this way. She could, like, she could be, like, very nice and kind and very, you know, reasonable and all that. She's chosen to behave this way and socialize herself to be a mean girl. She modeled her entire personality off of Mean Girls. She did. She chose to do this.
I don't understand that. Meanwhile, I'm here a pretty decently insecure person, like a person who has my fair share of insecurities. I never sit up here and talk about how I'm prettier than people. Like, what are you talking about?
So you've heard of the expression Uncle Tom. I know it sounds like I'm about to swerve out of my lane, but I promise I'm not. I was thinking of using this term for trans people who are awful to other trans people, but I'm a white lady and that kind of felt very uncomfy. So I've got an alternative term for true scums and passing white trans women, and that is a cousin Blair.
So first of all, brush your teeth. You literally sat there and had the thought process, how can I find an offensive word to call trans people I disagree with? How can I invent a slur to call trans people?
What? Blair, her teeth are fine. You have literally thousands of dollars worth of studio lighting. One of my favorite parts of Blair's videos is that she's extremely wealthy, so she can afford thousands of dollars of studio lighting and extremely nice cameras, which do an insane amount of lightening your skin, making your skin look smoother, and it especially makes your teeth look insanely white. Also, Blair uses, like, those bleaching strips, I'm sure. So, like, her teeth look fine. These are normal teeth, but they're in, like, a yellowed natural lighting. Like, this is not, like, super bright white studio lighting like what Blair uses. Like, this is probably, like, a ring light or some natural lighting. And so Blair, who has, like, blindingly white teeth on camera because of the filters and the lighting she uses, Blair thinks that your teeth looking this white normally on camera is to be expected. People's teeth don't normally look this white on camera. I'm sorry. You gotta work pretty hard to get them to look this white on camera with lighting and filters and bleaching and those little fucking things you put in your mouth that use UV light.
Says, how can I find an offensive word to call trans people I disagree with? How can I invent a slur to call trans people who don't do and say exactly what I want them to do? And yet, announcement for your dumbass, I'm actually biracial, so according to your own oppression...
What?
Olympics, you're really just some basic white broad who sat up here, invented a slur for someone you thought was a white trans woman who's actually a biracial trans woman, and it's all based on the fact that I don't think exactly how you want me to think, because I should be submissive to you.
No, it's because you're a bitch.
Right? White lady? Right? Sorry for getting out of line. Imagine really...
That's the smug and wrong thing again, by the way. She wants you to be triggered, because if you get triggered, you give her the reaction she wants. She can't handle an actual, like, argument or, like, a well-reasoned response, so she'll just be very bitchy and passive-aggressive and smug, and that's meant to get your blood up, you know? You're supposed to have, like, an angry or non-measured response, and the lack of measuredness in your response will be all she needs to, you know, make you look bad. But, I'm not trans, motherfucker. I'm not trans. I'm not getting emotionally hurt by this shit. I just know everything she's saying is wrong, and she's, like, an evil to the core lying piece of shit. I look at this the same way as I would look at, like, a YouTuber who scams their audience for, like, crypto scamming. That's how I see Blair White. She's just a piece of shit who I'm covering and exposing as a piece of shit to an audience. That's the way I see it. I'm not like... I am emotionally attached to it in the sense that I care about the well-being of trans people, but being not trans myself means her little snatty insults don't work on me.
Really thinking that you're on the side of trans people while reducing their agency down to must-have opinions that are preset in my mind for them to have. Those people are literally morons.
Who cares about friends? In this this world, there are shepherds and there are sheep, and Lindsay is a major sheep.
Xanderhall uses idpol while hating idpol. Well, no, like, the idpol works in this respect. Like, she's attacking people, assuming the people attacking her are trans, but I'm not trans. Like, I'm not going to be insulted by her, like, saying, well, you're not really trans. It's like, yeah, I'm not, but your definition of what is and isn't trans is demonstrably untrue, and I know it is, and I know that you're lying about it because you're evil.
Yeah, I'm the sheep standing here on my own, trying to carve out a new path, and you're the shepherd trying to jump on an anti-Blair White algorithm hate train. You totally don't have that backwards.
All right, this is going to kill my career, get me blacklisted, and harassed for the next 3 years of my life. But let's talk about my issues with Blair White. It's her blatant disrespect to the trans community. The fact that she treats non-passing women as less than, and has bullied a lot of trans women on here.
Again, these people invent that I really talk about people's passability.
Yes, you do. Do you want me to bring up clips of it? Like, we can bring it up. There's a lot of videos where people like show this. Blair White insulting trans people. This isn't why the trans community is respected. Upset trans people. Trans women are not women. Jesus, everything that comes up is Daily Wire and Blair White stuff if you look up Blair White. Oh my god, has she paid to have YouTube boost her in the algorithm? Oh my god, literally every result is Blair White's channel. Every single result is Blair White's channel. There's not a single one here that isn't Blair White's channel. Here's the one where she photoshopped the beard onto that trans person. This is a video from 6 years ago. This is why people don't like trans people. My favorite was, can we find the one where she went after Riley Dennis? Here, Blair White, Riley Dennis. Of course, Blair's videos on Riley Dennis come up first. Oh yeah, here's the apology. So, Blair White, of course, immediately resumed this behavior right after, but here's 6 years ago when Blair White still cared about, like, leaving up a veneer of not being a grifter.
That you please just watch the video in its entirety with an open mind, because I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of assumptions made about what I'm going to say in this video.
Basically, she ended up insulting Riley J. Dennis and claiming she's not on hormones. She's clearly, like, not passing enough and a bunch of other shit. And it was, like, it was pretty bad because also it was all false.
For an entire year, and is actually going in for her first transition-specific surgery extremely soon.
The day this video is going live, I'm going to be on my way to San Francisco in preparation for my facial feminization surgery, or FFS for short. But the fact is, I am on hormone replacement therapy prescribed to me by my doctor for the treatment of gender dysphoria. I've been on hormones for about 10 or 11 months now, and this entire time I've been very careful not to talk about hormones online.
Needless to say, this completely came out of left field for me, and for me to say anything other than I feel bad would be disingenuous. My opinion of—
So she of course doesn't apologize for the idea that she was, like, speculating whether or not Riley J. Dennis was on hormones and, like, her standard as to whether or not that makes someone trans. She apologizes for being wrong about claiming Riley J. Dennis wasn't on hormones. And then she continues to do the same shit over and over. So this is her literally apologizing 6 years ago for the behavior she claims she doesn't do. She just really hopes that you don't remember her doing this, or you support it and don't care when she lies about not doing it. She breaks down crying in that video. Wait, really? Let's watch that instead. We're at the end of this video instead. Let's watch her break down crying. Blair White, Riley J. Dennis. Bro, I love watching women cry, dude. My favorite pastime. It's not.
My opinion of Riley—
I actually really hate it, but let's watch.
has changed as a result of this new information. Not of Riley's opinions, not of Riley's views, not of Riley's politics, but of Riley being trans or not. Riley as a human being, all the other stuff aside. Point blank, my perception that Riley was lying about being trans or pretending to be trans was just incorrect. And for me to not come on...
So basically she like still maintains her standards that are like evil that she denies that she ever had, but she apologizes for being wrong in her evaluation.
Transition-specific surgery this month, so am I. We are basically at the same point in our transition, yet the internet and myself have participated in this like false juxtaposition between me and Riley that I was a real trans person. Riley was a fake trans person. And the truth is, we're almost at the exact same point in our transition. And I'm someone who's had my transition picked apart online. There have been Reddit threads and 4chan threads with hundreds of comments on it of people trying to prove that I'm not trans because I haven't done this or that, or, you know, digging up my old pictures. And, you know, I'm a strong person, I'm a happy person, but to sit here and pretend like it doesn't affect me at all would just be a lie. So the thought that this entire time I've done that exact same thing to someone else and pushed that off on someone else fucks with me. And I'm fucking sorry. From my perspective, knowing what it takes to transition.
Crazy that she just kept doing it over and over again for like 6 years after that. And the thing is, this was 6 years ago. Her average fan is probably 13, 14, 15, maybe 16 years old, which means they would have been at the oldest 10 years old when this happened. Probably not even out as trans, not on the internet in the same way, not interested in politics. She relies on the fact that there is a constant trickle of young, impressionable trans people coming onto the internet who have no one else other than Blair White that they're going to stumble upon first and foremost. We know how YouTube works. They will recommend Blair White over ContraPoints any day. And as much as I don't like ContraPoints as much anymore, I would much rather that young trans people stumbling onto YouTube looking for stuff about trans people find Contra before they find Blair. But they're likely to find Blair first, because that's how YouTube functions.
The tens of thousands of dollars it takes to save up for these surgeries, to take that plunge and to step into that is difficult. And to know that at the this is getting kind of hard to film and I'm fucking frustrated.
Her eyes are actually red. I wonder if this is real crying. I actually feel like this is real crying. It looks real to me. Because it looks like she's actually genuinely trying to fight it. And doing an okay job at it, but like also you can see it's getting through. This must have been back when she still had a soul. I think she probably sold that thing back in 2018, 2019. She probably sold that old thing. That soul was already shriveled and like grayed out and like dying when she sold it, but you know, there was still something there back then. There was still something there, I feel. But she's definitely given it up by now. What do you guys think of that segment? I feel like that came out pretty good. I feel like that's one of my best Blair White segments. I think that might actually be one of my best, if not my best, Blair White segment. I'm glad. Hot damn, by the way, view count inflated a lot while I was doing that segment. 855 people watching. Hot damn. Are we going to hit 1,000 viewers today, guys? I think we might. I'm going to be doing the Anna Kasparian segment in just a minute, but I think we could hit 1,000 viewers tonight. That would be crazy. That would be crazy if we hit 1,000 viewers tonight. If you want to help and increase our chances of hitting 1,000 viewers tonight, concurrently, you can do so for completely free by hitting the like button. That thumbs up button, if you hit that on my stream on YouTube, it goes a really far way. Really far way, really long way. It boosts my channel in the algorithm. It gets more of my subs to see that I'm live. It gets more viewers in here, and it really helps me out a lot. I really do appreciate it. Did you see the new hit piece with Vosh and Keffals? I'm going to be covering that tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that when I go live. Oh my god. My stomach just decided out of nowhere it's time to feel starving, so let's wait for that nausea to pass. Do you guys ever get that thing where it's like you don't feel hungry at all, and then all of a sudden your stomach just erupts in rumbling, and then for like 2 minutes you have to fight off an insane wave of nausea, and then it goes away, and you're back just being a little hungry? Yeah, that's what I'm dealing with right now. I'm going through that wave. Dry ramen time. I'm out of groceries. I need to go grocery shopping. I fucking hate that. Yeah, it's not good. Not good. Not fun. That's acid reflux, is it? That's acid reflux. Is it? I've got the perfect solution then. Great. Wow, that solved it instantly. Thank you to whoever recommended. So that's acid reflux, huh? That pretty much dealt with it instantly. Like, just instantly. And these are, calcium carbonate anti-acid shoes. Zan says he's gonna stream through his body killing him. Listen. I'm built different, okay? You have to understand that. I'm simply built different. Thank you, Akira Tanako. Those antacid tablets actually taste really good, too. Like, they unironically taste pretty fucking good. So yeah, pretty nice. Nose is itchy. Oh yeah, the fireworks. They'll be starting soon. Freya, thank you for the $10 donation. I really appreciate that. Very kind of you. Thank you for the 10 bucks. You didn't even say anything, but I appreciate it. It really does go a far way. Charmenthal, thank you for the 10 tier 1 gifted subs. Hot damn. That is 50 bucks right there. Thank you. Oh my god. I hope that Miss Nibiru, Confusia, Killjoy 40k, Howl Sour, Crick Chirp, Human Person, Shizuka Rules, Asymbolic Symbol, Ash Ix, and End Duty all appreciate their blue names now. Thank you. And he said blue. Hell yeah, blue. We're the Blue Man Group. Fake Alec Kyle Parker, thank you for the $20 donation. Hot damn, thank you. Said, Zan, here, you need to read this. Wait, Zan, here, you need this. I need this. Nice meme. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate the support, guys. You are fucking goated. That puts us at $100 in the dono goal today, by the way. That is insane. Thank you for the support. Ooh-wee. That is very kind of you guys. Holy moly. Have the Young Turks gotten worse to you because I can't get through a new segment with them? Yes, they have gotten worse, and we'll be talking about that. Rob36, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the $5. Is getting my motorbike tests next month. Wish me luck. 3-monther, by the way. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate the 3-monther, and I wish you luck on your motorbike test. Yeah, thank you. So that should be an extra $7. That's good. All right. I'll update the dono goal. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the support. Remember, if we hit $300 on the dono goal, I put on a onesie. Oh, and Midnight Kitty Boy, or Midnight Kitty, as it is now. Sorry, I keep, like, your old name rolls off my tongue. Midnight Kitty, thank you for the $35. I really appreciate that. Very kind of you. Very based and pog, didn't even say anything. The support is very much appreciated. It really does go a long way. And of course, update the dono goal. That puts us at 147. Hot damn, guys. Oh, we'll be covering TYT's greatest grifter hits soon. Don't you guys worry. We'll be getting to that in just a moment. Just making sure to read donos and stuff. Dab time? Hell yeah. Why does my, Chatterino just not let me ban people through it anymore? Does anybody know why? Like, the ban button just doesn't work through it anymore. I have to bring up, Twitch in a tab and do it through Twitch's chat every time now. Does Chatterino just not work anymore? Because it just recognizes /ban as an unrecognized command now. It's weird. Zan, mod me and I'll do it? Yeah, you just gotta talk in Twitch chat for that to happen. I can't mod you unless you say something in the chat. Whose turn is it to be banned? Oh, it's just some retard in Twitch chat. It happens. Alright. All right. You all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. All right, everybody. So, the Young Turks, for a very long time, was one of, if not the biggest organization online advocating for progressive values. Like, you know how the right has the Daily Wire, Blaze TV, the fucking Louder with Crowder show is like a whole organization. Alex Jones is his own organization. There's Dave Rubin's, like, his own organization as well. All these people have their own organizations, their own compounds. Tim Pool, his own compound and organization. All these people have their own, like, spheres, Fresh and Fit, like all the podcast bro types from TikTok. All these people are massive and have the Daily Stormer. They have basically these huge companies that they run and a lot of money because there's a lot of money in conservatism. They don't have the truth on their side. There's no money in spreading the truth. There's never been money in spreading the truth. Tell me one point in history in which spreading the truth has made people more money than spreading bullshit. Bullshit artists have always made more money than people spreading the truth. The truth doesn't sell, bullshit does. So, right-wing figures just have a lot more money and resources at their disposal. So something like TYT was very valuable to the left. Something with high production value that looked like it had money behind it, consistent output of content, and decent coverage that was advocating for left-wing values. Outside of that, you've got the Majority Report, and that's pretty much it. Name another, like, on par with the Majority Report and TYT, David Pakman. Really? We're going to say David Pakman in his example with his takes on like Bolivia and Israel and Palestine. Secular talk. Kyle Kalinske is pretty fucking cringe. We're talking about internet stuff, Halsor. Kyle Kalinske is pro-Russia. It's really only the Majority Report, let's be honest. Let's be honest. It's really only the Majority Report now. Okay? All these examples you could possibly give up or bring up, they all have one major thing in common. They all do the populist Nazbul grift. And unfortunately, it looks like that's where TYT is headed now too. Sadly, it seems like that's where things are headed with TYT, notably, in large part because of Anna Kasparian, who is one of the head co-hosts of TYT and has recently gone on quite the rampage of Cringe. It basically all started when, out of nowhere, seemingly, she had this big Twitter thread about how she doesn't want to be called a birthing person. Yeah, I guess H3H3 kind of counts, sort of. Which is really weird because birthing person's just legal terminology used in the text of laws to ensure that certain laws that pertain to birth control and abortion can apply to trans men who still have uteruses as well as cis women. Because if they use wording like birthing person, that's as broad as possible for the law, instead of a super narrow law that could leave a ton of people out of it. But I guess that was how Anna Kasparian wanted to start her grift as a conservative commentator. So she starts complaining about the wording of birthing person being disrespectful to women. And, like, she just starts losing her shit about it, and the rest of the TYT gang backs her up for some reason. And she's just continuously been making posts and different statements about how sympathetic she is to the right now. And this has all seemed to have mounted up with her leaving the left, it seems. She has just gone the other day. When was this? 2 days ago. She went on a small conservative, I would almost venture to say alt-right, political show called Adam and Sitch, or Sitch and Adam. You can see she's appeared here as a guest. Now, Sitch and Adam make some top-tier content, such as Sean destroys leftist on Timcast on poverty causing crime. Because, of course, they don't believe that poverty causes crime because they believe race does. Leftists seethe over charity stream because the money was given to other people. H3H3 versus Just Pearly Things. Should women be allowed to vote? Just Pearly Things misquotes Thomas Sowell and doubles down on H3H3. So this is them, like, coping about Thomas Sowell being a piece of shit and H3H3 calling that out. Non-binary rant. No one has the no one has to respect your aesthetic. Sorry, the text is small. Schenk versus Destiny, who was responsible for Kenosha. Gross leftist cares more about policing hashtags than violent crime victim. Is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse good? Is it woke? Is it both? So, like, this is unironically the level of engagement they do. And Anna Kasparian has gone on their show. I think it's pretty clear what message you're supposed to get from this, right? I think it's pretty clear what message that the left is supposed to get from her doing this. You know, rent prices in LA are really expensive. The TYT studio is, of course, in Los Angeles. Those prices are going up. I get it. I get it. They gotta follow the money. There's never been much money in it for the left. You know, unironically, being a lefty political commentator, just the idea of grifting as like an ex-left-wing conservative is like the dark side. A constant pull on you that requires diligence and like a soul and a moral conscience to fight against. But I don't think you guys understand how quickly, like, how much money and like relevance it would bring to my channel, Vosh's channel, Demon Mama's channel, Keffals' channel, any of these people if they came out as like ex-left-wing conservatives now. They would blow up. There would be a media circus for them. That's how it works. Seems like Anna's already starting that.
Okay. Hey now, it's your boy PSA Sitch here with another Sunday show with everyone's favorite Supreme Court enthusiast, Adam Frenda.
Oh, yeah. I've been reading up on the Supreme Court, Sitch. I'm learning so much about how our country functions. It's amazing. And we have, look, a special guest with us here today, Anna Kasparian, co-host of The Young Turks. Do you want to introduce yourself? I mean, I feel like everyone, our audience definitely knows who you are, but you're probably doing other things as well.
At the moment, I'm not. I'm mostly focusing on TYT. But yeah, I'm the executive producer and co-host of The Young Turks, and have been since 2007. And, I've done other things on the side at various points of my career. But for now, that's the main focus.
Okay, so we're very excited to have this conversation. We started talking a little bit before the show, and you seem open to talking about a lot of things. You seem to be going through kind of a political transformation, evolution. I don't really know the right word to call it, but I'll let you talk about that. But first,
I just realized these guys are like offensively boring, so I'm going to go ahead and speed this up by 1.5.
First of all, people want to know, because you did mention in our little chat in DMs that I was wrong about the Daily Wire thing. Now, I make predictions on the show all the time, and I have never been wrong before. So people, I've been making jokes about you might end up at the Daily Wire. That's not true?
No. It's funny because, I'm going through something very real.
Nah, she's taking TYT with her.
And very sincere, and it's uncomfortable, and it has not been an enjoyable process for me. It's been difficult. And so the internet being what it is, all sorts of people from all sorts of political ideologies have theories on like what's actually happening with me, right? And the main accusation, both from the left and the right, is that I'm grifting, which is hilarious because literally nothing has changed about my work.
And from the right, nobody on the right is accusing her of grifting. I've not seen a single person on the right accuse her of being a grifter. I mean, we know that she's grifting because we know, like, I've seen Anna Kasparian explain why the perspectives that she now holds are wrong very, very competently and reference, like, research and evidence to prove that. She knows that she's full of shit. We know she's grifting. She hasn't, like, forgotten the information that she's learned over the last, like, decade plus of political commentary. She is choosing to forego the fact that she knows what the truth is, and yeah. What are the odds she's getting divorced and making it everyone's problem, and that's always how this shit goes? That's weird. No, I just think she's, like, wealthy, and she's gotten older, and so she feels like... Okay, something you have to remember is people do get, like, more selfish as they get older. It could literally be that. It could literally be that she's getting older, and she's, gotten more money, saved up, she's more well off, taxes are starting to affect her more hard because she's got more money, and she's kind of thinking, no, I don't want the value, like the policies that I advocate for to pass, because those are going to affect me negatively. Maybe that's where she's gotten. Like, she's gotten to the point where it is most beneficial to her to be a conservative on multiple fronts, like both to advocate for conservatism, because there's more money in that, and to fight against leftist policies or progressive policies from passing, because those would negatively affect her as someone who, as it would seem, is probably more wealthy.
Work life. I'm in the same place. I have the same audience. The audience doesn't like some of what I have to say or some of the new conclusions I've come to. And so I wanted to kind of set the record straight about what I have personally experienced. I don't know what my political labels are at this point, right? Because I feel like I don't really fit anywhere. And that's just full honesty. It's, again, very uncomfortable for me. And I want to say that out of any point in my adult life, this is probably the point where I'm the most malleable and open to new information because of what I've experienced.
Wait, Anna has mentioned that her taxes have been going up recently? That's hilarious. Yeah, that's because she's making more money.
Over the last few years. And I can get into details about that in just a moment. But that was the reason why I told Adam that, no, this isn't like a Daily Wire thing. I have no interest in working at the Daily Wire. I have no interest in leaving TYT. If anything, I just feel a responsibility to kind of correct what I got wrong in the past to the best of my ability and just do better moving forward. And
correct what she got wrong in the past? Wait, she wants to destroy her old legacy from advocating for progressivism too. That's crazy, dude. She's ashamed of of her past progressive beliefs and what she used to advocate for. That's crazy, dude. There were so many people in the chat before stream went live thinking I was trolling or clickbaiting by saying that she was leaving the left, but like she's fully sold out. I'm glad I was never much of a fan of TYT because I feel like I'd feel very betrayed right now if I was somebody who's like watched TYT for a decade and now I'm just seeing as like they all forego what they damn well know is the truth in exchange for money. Just following the cash.
Reason why I've been a TYT.
And you know what's so sad and embarrassing about it too? Is that this is on its way out. I don't think that these boomers have seen the pattern that like I've seen and that I think a lot of Zoomers have seen with like the political like cycle online. We're seeing like the end. Like it's on its way out, the like current age of conservative domination of culture. And I don't think the next one's going to be anywhere near as big as this one. And it's such a bad time to jump on the grift train. Like, it's such a bad time. Andrew Tate is about to be convicted. And he's going to be, like, held in confinement and not be able to put out content. So Andrew Tate and that whole sphere is going to fall off very soon. Like, Sneeko is getting, like, made fun of by everybody. A lot of the audience is growing up and getting older. You know what's a really big sign? I've been getting a lot of comments on videos from 2 years ago and a year ago from people replying to year-old comments they left that were hate comments. One of the most common hate comments I get from conservatives is, what the fuck? Why did this come up in my recommended? Why did YouTube try to get me to watch this? Disliked. And then, like, some, like, hateful, like, racist or transphobic thing, right? But I've been getting comments lately that are replies to those comments from the same people saying they apologize and they've, like, had a lot of political evolution since then and they've decided to come back and leave a like and subscribe. I've been getting, like, 2 of those comments a week lately, sometimes more, which is unusual. I don't usually get those comments. It's sometimes, like, once a month. But now it's been, like, once or twice a week, sometimes more. I think that's a pretty big sign that a lot of the people who fell for this shit are kind of growing up. And that means the market for this conservative propaganda isn't going to be as robust as it used to be, as it is now, or was for the last year or so. And it's not a good time for TYT to shift to the right, I don't think. They weren't even necessarily doing that well on the left. I don't think this right-wing switch is going to be as successful as they think it's going to be.
As long as I have is, despite what any of you might think about Jank, he has never once tried to censor me or tell me what I can and can't say. That's the reason why, you know, we get into these fiery debates and there's never any like retaliation.
For the record, in case you're curious about like the moral fiber of the people at TYT, Jimmy Dore came from TYT. Dave Rubin came from TYT. Like, it is not like, I don't even consider Hassan to be all that good, okay? Like, TYT does not have a reputation for producing very good people, okay? Michael Tracy's from TYT. Great point, yeah. Like, I think TYT is just a group of assholes, like asshole grifters and spineless cowards who are just doing it for money. And I think they recognize that there was a very non-existent market online for progressive content back then. But now they realize the money is truly in conservatism, and that's what they're going after. Emma's the only good one that came out of it. Yeah, I don't even think she works with TYT anymore, does she?
For it. And as long as I'm free to speak my mind and genuinely speak my mind the way I have been, I plan on staying there. There's absolutely no monetary or financial incentive for me to do anything I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I do agree. I think Hassan is a grifter.
Well, Sitch and I box a lot on this show, and I think people... You know, I think they like that. I think they admire that we are able to fight with one another over a policy position and still walk away friends. So I spent the last week, I was watching a bunch of your most recent videos.
So that's the core of it with conservatism, right? That's the big pull they try to do, is that we're so much friendlier than the left. The core of it is that when you're a conservative, you don't actually have to care about anything. The issues that you talk about are all just made up, like talking points given to you by a script or whatever is popping off the most in the algorithm, whatever will make the most money and push the conservative line. There's no actual stakes in any of it. So nobody has emotional attachment to any of it. So there's no, like, big disagreements and arguments that are going to lead to friendships breaking up or moral push to stop being friends with somebody. While on the other hand, on the left, the people who believe in the things they believe in on the left, for the most part, aren't doing it for money. And because of that, yeah, it tends to be like a lot less... People tend to care about what they advocate for more, which makes it more emotional. And it being so much more emotional is what ends friendships and burns bridges and whatnot. Oh shit, I haven't looked in a while. Yeah, we are at 1,000 viewers. Thank you, guys. Hell yeah, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you all coming out. I hope you enjoy your stay here. Thank you, guys. Welcome.
And I mean, you're snapping back at Jank quite often. I mean, it's actually quite refreshing. There's a couple things, and we have questions on these, but I'll let Sitch. I don't know. Do you have anything that you want to ask before we get started?
So yeah, it turns out that Anna is a massive fan of our program. She's in every episode, just huge fan, right?
Well, okay, so I happened to come across a video you guys did about me. It was the stream on, I hate to name names, but you guys were covering the leftist mafia and their insane gaslighting video about me. And you guys were the only ones, as far as I could
fuck them, to be fair.
see, that actually did a good job in highlighting how badly they were gaslighting me.
Right.
And so I thank you for doing that because, you know...
You'll notice, by the way, that at this point, some of the most loud and outspoken lefty figures at this point are... like the worst representations of the left. Like Noah Samson and the leftist mafia and the serfs and stuff like that. Like, not really doing the best job of representing the left at times. They can be. I think Lance does a better job than most of the people on that list, actually. For all personal and like moral disagreement I have with Lance aside, Lance, outside of debates, does a decent job, especially on Twitter.
When everyone around you, everyone who alleges to be your friends, tells you something you know isn't true, but they keep repeating it to you over and over again, you start asking yourself, like, am I the
I honestly don't know, Marsquake.
crazy one? You know? So that, I really appreciated that. But, you know, you guys have put out a ton of videos about me that have not been friendly or nice, and it's okay. I mean, I can be a good sport about it, and I do think that you guys raised a few valid points, and I just need to be willing to accept where I was wrong and where people are critiquing from good faith. Like, you guys have a little bit of an edgy style, so I'll acknowledge that. But I have thick skin, so it didn't really bother me that much.
I mean, that's commendable. You know, we're on this kind of like internet environment where everyone's very attacky to each other.
Totally.
Especially when they're not like engaging with them in person. So
yeah,
you have to have kind of a thick skin. And I know, but I mean, you're talking about earlier, and one of the things that we always commended you on was, you know, when you publicly came out and you said that you were wrong about the Rittenhouse video, which, I mean, most people, when they make a mistake, they just try to hide it or they try to shift blame. You know, Jimmy Dore very, you know, famously shifted blame to his producer. And I thought it was really commendable that you came out and you're like, no, I got this wrong. And you were trying to show, not just do this like for your sake, but to say,
did Jimmy Dore try to go against the... Why would Jimmy Dore... Did Jimmy Dore go anti-Rittenhouse? That genuinely surprises me. Jimmy Dore went anti-Rittenhouse? Yeah, he did. So Jimmy Dore's just like... He just like always chooses the wrong position? Because no matter how much you hate Kyle Rittenhouse, legally, indisputably, he was in the right, like, in regards to the law, with, like, self-defense. Having the gun was, and bringing it across state lines is illegal. But, like, that's unexpected. That is unexpected. Fuck Kyle Rittenhouse and all, but legally, Kyle Rittenhouse was, unfortunately, in the right. Morally wrong still. I mean, yeah, he brought the gun there, brought it across state lines. He was there with it to shoot somebody, no doubt. We know that, yes, obviously, but legally, in the videos that we see, he's being chased, he's being attacked, he has a gun. If you attack somebody who clearly has a gun, that is a lethal threat. Let's be real. So yeah. Jimmy Dore used to grift the left. Yeah, but not back when the Rittenhouse thing happened.
Like, listen, audience, you need to understand that this is the story, and I don't want you guys to have the wrong information.
Yeah, there was. Look, the one, I guess, through line you'll notice in the various things that we're going to talk about in this conversation is that it just became abundantly clear to me that where I was getting my information, and I'm not just talking about like, independent lefty outlets. I'm talking about like legacy media outlets, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of them, it's not.
Okay, this is getting boring now. I'm sorry, this is really, really boring. But I do have one more related thing to show you guys. I saw this on Reddit this morning. I was drinking my morning Monster. I was vibing out. Where was it? Should be here. Here it is. This should not surprise you in the slightest bit, but you'll never believe who has come out in support of Anna Kasparian leaving the left. Shoo. Contrary to popular belief, you don't actually have to be socially micromanaged by asocial losers. You can just say no. They'll be mad, and you might feel alone for a little while. Oh, I'm sorry, Shu. I'm sorry I made you feel alone. But you'll be free. Anna K going full oppressed white woman. She said and did nothing wrong. Most people will come to realize you are insane, and you will be left with the vocal minority of asocial freaks online until you inevitably eat each other alive, inshallah. She means trans people. Everybody now, knows that she's transphobic, so pretty much nobody in the trans community supports Shu anymore after the whole, gay groomer Balenciaga shit she started. And so, when she says Twitter freak, she means trans people, just like the, Rev Says Desu guy does. When conservative figures that are, having a dog whistle now mean trans people, they say Twitter freaks. It's pretty common, but yeah. I thought you guys would appreciate that a little bit. I thought you guys would like that. A little bit of camaraderie there. What do you guys think of that segment? I feel like it came out pretty good. I feel like that was a good one. God, so many people here. Thank you all so much for coming out. Consider dropping a like. It really does help out a lot, but just for being here, I really do appreciate it. And for those of you guys who are hanging out in my website chat and you've got the money for it, you can always help to keep the show on the air by donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub. Hell, you can also support me on YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, and even Patreon. I also have merch. Links are in the description. Get in the onesie? We haven't had enough donos yet, my friend. Two Dad Smoochin, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Says, so stoked for this discourse of that one birthing person with a uterus. Thank you for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'd say that Anna Kasparian is one of my least favorite birthing people. Also, remember to hit the ad button on the stream. Yes, make sure you watch the full ads that run. Do not click the skip button. Thank you. I ask so little of you. Do you think Vosh looks back on that video with Anna as embarrassing? Not necessarily. I think he probably is just, feels the same way as I do. Probably oh, well, that's really cringe. Anna's being cringe. That's pretty much it. Plot twist. Zan was the birthing person all along. No, I'm not a trans man. That would be funny, though, if you guys just spent, years and years calling me an egg, saying, Zan's a trans woman, Zan's an egg, Zan's a trans woman, Zan's an egg, 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 and then I was just guess what, motherfuckers? I'm a trans man! And then I had a vagina. That would be fucking hilarious. That would be the best own ever. I genuinely wish I was a trans man just so I could do that. Because it would be hilarious. It would be fucking hilarious. It would possibly be one of the most legendary owns in all of history. You guys would be so mad. Would you be happy or mad? You'd be a simultaneous, mixture of mad and happy. But no, unfortunately I have a cock and balls, and my balls, slap on my legs when I wear basketball shorts, and it hurts. I'm not kidding. I literally, like, I ran to the door to see whether or not my food delivery had gotten here last night, and I, like, ran in a way where my balls, like, slapped on my thighs in a very painful way, and I had to, like, and my food was there, so I had to run down the stairs and, like, pick it up, and I was just, like, it hurt. My stomach hurt really bad. Yeah. That's what I get for free balling it in basketball shorts. Don't believe his lies. Xander is a trans man. True. You got me. I'm dead to rights. Roasted Peanuts, thank you for the $30. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Said Anna giving off love me, I'm a liberal vibes. True. And Xander Corvus, thank you for the €20. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you. Xander Hall, I crushed my balls walking down a spiral staircase. Do you know what the most pain I've ever felt in my life was? I was 12 years old. No, I was probably 10, actually. I was younger. And I was walking along the edge of a pool. In that little gutter. My left foot slipped and fell down into the pool. My right foot did not. Zan, are you impotent? I wish. I wish. No, my loads are quite white with sperm cells. I'm pretty sure my sperm is quite potent. I play it pretty safe when it comes to contraception and pulling out and all that. Cause as a wise woman named Rochelle once said, I ain't raising no fucking babies. He takes cum pills, chat? No, I don't take the cum pills. And the cum pills don't make you fertile. They just make there be more cum. They just make, like, your cum ducts produce more, I guess it would be the pre-cum, right? You don't produce any more of the cells. You just produce more of the goo. And it makes your, what are they called? Your muscles and, like, your gooch. They give you, like, vitamins that make the muscles in your gooch stronger, I guess. And so you just come harder and further. Doesn't matter how much you come now. You will come more if you take it. It's basically the Captain America Super Soldier Serum. It's really just a mix of, like, sunflower lecithin and shit like that. Just vitamins, but still, you know. It's a vitamin supplement. And also, I don't have it, but it's back in Florida. Or not Florida, California, unfortunately. If I had it, I would have put it up on that little shelf right there, but I left it back in California. Because in all seriousness, I don't actually take it. But I do like having the bottle. I need to get that bottle, because it's really funny. In case you haven't noticed, the bottle itself is literally covered in little cum stains. Like, they put little, like, on the art, they have little cum stains. Little blotches of cum. Along, like, the sides of the plastic. It's great. Art? Yeah, it's art. Yeah, trust me, guys. Guys, believe me, it's the art. They put that there. That wasn't me. It's the art, okay? They put that there, not me. Okay. Enough dumb fuckery. Consider leaving a like. I really do appreciate it. The marketing has come it does. There's little, like, blotches of cum along the label. It's great. T lost a lot. Thank you for the 5 tier 1 gifted subs. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the $25. It's very based and pog of you. Thank you. Said, or gifted to Cheese Wizard, Hemorrhoid King, Giz the Wiz, Prospect _2, and Lviv. I really do appreciate that. Said Onesie. We're not quite there yet, my friend, but thank you. That really does help us get there. Appreciate it. Hemorrhoid King, thank you for the tier 1 subs. His money for egg Botox. Thank you for the $5. That's money for a new computer and a new place to live and groceries and stuff. 900 viewers. We had 1,000 earlier. But yeah, leave a like, please. It really does help out a lot. Thank you. Let me add that to the dono goal. Very pog. All right, everybody. Didn't someone gift 30 tier 1 subs earlier? No, someone gifted 10. I think 2 people gifted 10. If someone gifted 30, I didn't see it. Let me scroll up. As far as I can scroll up, I don't see any. Someone gifted 30? How did it not go up? Why? Okay, hold on. I missed 30? How? How? Are you serious? There's nowhere that it was saved. I can't see who did it. I can't get any verification of that. I need a timestamp in the stream from when it happened. That's the only way I can verify it. I have to have a timestamp so I can look in the stream. There's been a bug with my chat not saving donos in the thing. It's really annoying. I need to get somebody to fix it, but yeah, it's been an issue, particularly for really big gifted sub donos. It was the start of the Anna segment. Okay. God, the tiredness is really hitting me all of a sudden. God, the tiredness is really... Yep, I know. I just said that. If it didn't register in my feed, it probably didn't register in chat. Yeah. So whoever donated it is going to have to DM me proof. I'm sorry, but it's a bug. It didn't show in the chat. Not popped up. I just closed it, son of a bitch. Yeah. That I just got. You guys always get me in the onesie on the hottest, most musty fucking days, too. I should be... I bet I should be able to know that I'm going to hit the dono goal in a certain stream based on how hot and miserable it would be to be in a onesie on that given day. It's always the most musty fucking hot days you guys make me hit the dono goal. Lefty McLefterson, thank you for the $50 donation. Hot damn, thank you. Says, here's a nice wholesome video of a dude training his cat to ride in a basket on his electric bike. Thank you for the link. Says onesie soon. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to look at that timestamp and try to see if I can get verification. 34 minutes ago. Can I get a timestamp, please? This will be over as soon as we get a timestamp. $34 and 35 minutes? Okay. All right, I'm watching. Nothing's coming up, guys. You really couldn't give me an... And there goes my patience. I'm sorry, guys. I can't verify it. I can't verify it. I didn't get a timestamp. I didn't get a screenshot. I didn't get a notification. I can't verify I actually got that donation. I appreciate it if it did happen, if it's real and you guys aren't trolling. Whoever did that, I really do appreciate it, but I can't count it because I can't verify it's real. I literally can't. Would it be in PayPal? I guess I could check PayPal, but I never log into that on stream. That's just a recipe for disaster. We're not trolling. I'll check right now. I'll check in my other window. Okay, yeah, I see it. At 423, this seems like it would be it. $150. Hot damn. Thank you. That's your real name, but I don't know who really did it. Can someone tell me who donated it? Thank you so much for the 30 Tier 1 gifted subs, I would assume. Is that what it was? 30? Thank you. What makes you say Hassan is a grifter? I think he has bad takes and all, but it seems honest. No, I think that he, at this point, has the... So one of the things that really frustrates me about Hassan is that he is very open to allowing the worst people of the left into his community when he knows that's the case. Tankies, for example, are very welcome. Marxist-Leninists, very welcome. And yet Keffals and Vosh are both banned in his community. That's not a good sign. Yeah, he's like very friendly with tankies and like all the woke scoldy types. It seems like he just wants to have the largest amount of people on the left in his community. And he doesn't really care about the truth. So since there's so many lefties that are like pro-Russia, he does some pro-Russia and does Russia apology and stuff like that. Thank you for not saying my real name. Oh, thank you for the gifted subs, Marsquake. And yeah, of course I wouldn't say your real name. I appreciate that, though. Ball, thank you for the $5 donation. I really appreciate that over on YouTube. Oh, yeah, I already read that one. I'm high. All right. Gurnatath, thank you for the Tier 1 sub. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the $5. Very based and kind of you. Didn't even say anything. All right. It looks like it's time for me to get in the onesie for the final segment of the day. I suppose that's ideal, since it is pretty hot today. But I want to thank you all so much for your overwhelming support. And, of course, you can always continue to donate after the fact. It is always very much appreciated. It really does help. You know, I may be a big, clouded-up YouTuber driving around the Bugattis. Not really. But I'm not actually loaded or anything like that. So it really does help when you guys, when you guys donate and stuff. Even when you guys just leave a like or just hang out and chat and just be here, hanging out, talking and stuff. It really does help out the channel, and it goes a long way. It really does. Every single one of you, it goes a long way. And Lepa, thank you for the $2 super chats. I can't wait till Russia war is over so left can unite. That's right. It's not going to happen, though. It's never going to happen. I just can't wait until the war is over so that people can stop dying. Yeah. Oh, Circa 111, thank you for the Tier 1 sub. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the $5. Very based and pog of you. Said, hey, Zan, been watching for about a year and finally subbed. Thank you. Your streams have been great lately. Have you decided on your first gun yet? Well, unfortunately, I can't get a gun until I've moved into a house in which I am paying utilities instead of all the utilities being included in my rent like they are here, because I have to prove my residence in the state with an ID, and the ID requires 3 months of utility bills and a few other bills like that, which I already have, but I need the utility bills, and then I can get my state ID, and then once I have my state ID, I can get my gun permit, but it has to be background checked, and then that will take 30 days, sometimes even 60 days, and then once I have my background check passed, then I'll be able to get my gun shipped to me, and so that'll take the shipping time, and then I'll have my gun, but then I'll also need to buy ammo, but, that's all a separate thing. But yeah, that's the process, and I can't even really start the process until I've moved. So yeah, donating also helps with affording the move. Thank you, guys. I do appreciate that. Wait, you can't get a state ID unless you have utility bills? I think I can, but it's like part of getting the gun. I need utility bills, okay? I need 3 months of utility bills. That's part of it, okay? And that involves moving. We want the birds. I also can do the birds once I move. So a lot of big, awesome things once I move. Yeah, quail. The birds are quail. Yeah, thank you for the tier 1 sub, Circa 111. I'm going to update the dono goal really fast. I'm going to go take a quick bathroom break, and then we're going to I'm going to get in the onesie, and then we're going to start the final segment of the day. God, my neighbors are being noisy. I feel much less bad about how loud I am when I stream. All right, I shall be right back. Be patient, my lovely chatters. I'll be gone but for just a moment. Oh boy. Let me button this thing up. You guys are gonna get to see which onesie I picked. It's a random onesie every time. Maybe I'll pick the same one twice in a row. Maybe I'll pick a new one. You guys never know. I only have a couple, so there's not many options, but you know, you guys don't know until I unveil which one it is. You have to sit there in eager suspense as I button up the onesie, because this one has pretty stubborn buttons. I'm just in a full fursuit. Bro, my audience would go fucking crazy if I did that. Holy shit. I'd never hear the end of it, bro. It'd be Jover. I'd be getting Biden blasted by you guys for that. Okay. We're sharking it up today, guys. We got the blow high, and I'm dressed as a shark. All right. Let's watch this clip. I got donated this. This was sent to me via Dono Reno, so let's check it out. Kitty.
Good boy.
I love
Good
cats.
boy.
Come on. Good boy. All the way in. All the way in. Bum 2. All the way in. You gotta go all the way in, Bouncy. Come on, all the way in.
The
Keep
cat
coming.
doesn't know it has back
There you
legs.
go. Good boy. Good boy. Bouncy.
Oh, it did that
Boy.
little whiny meow they do.
Ready? Basket
Cats
high five.
literally bitch.
Come on, basket high five.
Cats will literally bitch at you. Cats unironically bitch at you. Like, you'll tell them to do something, and they'll give, like, a meh kind of meow. Like, they'll literally bitch at you.
Five. Basket high five.
That's a
Yeah,
really pretty
buddy.
cat. Oh. It's a little acrobat. Oh, it likes to ride in the cart. Oh yeah, I've seen this guy on TikTok. He rides he rides the cat around in a basket.
Hit that bum in.
There's a lady that I watch on TikTok who's just in a little town where there's a bunch of stray cats, and they all jump in her basket if she stops near them, and she'll just ride them from one place to another like a taxi. It's great.
Get the bum in. Good boy. Good boy. You're a good boy.
If you put it... if there was a heating pad in that thing, the cat would not be jumping out.
All the way in. Good boy. Good boy. No. Oh. Come on.
There are pictures from the 50s of trans women wearing cat ears. That's fucking crazy that there's something, like, inherent to that.
Good boy. He's a good boy.
He's got a little vest. He's got a little cat vest.
Good boy. That's all.
Meow. Meow. Meow.
Can you come up this way?
Meow.
Lift you up.
Meow. My cat would be... But Luna used to whine just like this.
Good boy, huh?
That's awesome, bro. I love cats. They're pretty cool. Cats are pretty awesome. Cats are pretty fucking dope. I respect the fuck out of cats. I used to not like them, and I don't want to have a cat again, necessarily. Like, I like cats, but I don't want to own a cat again. I really don't like having to deal with litter boxes, to be fair. That's, like, not a fun part of having a cat. The litter box aspect, not great. Wasn't a fan. Wasn't a fan of that, guys. Gonna be real. Not big on that part. Not big on it. Luna was a good cat. Luna was a violent cat. I had to engage in mutual combat with that cat regularly in order to keep her from being, like, non-mutually violent. You know, like, you'd sit down and she'd just attack you because she kind of felt like it. And it meant that she wanted to play. And so I'd start playing with her more. And she's a rough, like, she plays rough. Like, you got to pin her. Like, what I'd have to do is, like, get two hands around her and then just pin her on her back on the bed. And she'd be like, and then eventually she'd stop moving. And I'd let her go and she'd be like, okay, you won. And she'd be calm for a few more hours. And then I'd have to do it again a few more hours later because she'd get the zoomies again. And when she got the zoomies, it made her want to fight. Oh yeah, Luna's okay. It's just that Luna belonged to my ex-girlfriend. And while I was watching Luna while my ex-girlfriend was in jail and then and then homeless or whatever, I don't even know what she was doing after me and her got fucking evicted. Like, I had the cat for like probably 4 months after that, and I took care of it. Just me on my own, and it was pretty big pain in the ass, but I love the cat, and so I wasn't going to let it like end up in a like pound or something, and I wasn't going to put the risk of the cat's safety on having my ex take care of it while she's not in a proper, like, financial situation. But yeah, who is she with now? I don't know if she's with anybody, but if I'm being honest, I would hope nobody, because from what I can tell, what she did to me is a pattern, and it's not the first time she's done it. So whoever she would be with now would be another victim. And I feel bad for whoever it is. Who is Luna with now? Oh, my ex, like I said. The cat belonged to my ex, so I returned it to my ex. Dude, should we get a cat for the game store cafe? That would be awesome. For those of you guys that don't know, I have this dream of, like, all of my streamer friends being able to live in this dope-ass, like, apartment/office building/streamer compound all in one. And being able to, like, collaborate together, but all have our own living spaces, utilities, and basic amenities. And there would be no living together drama, because we don't live together, but we live in the same building. And that building is equipped with all sorts of shit. Cafe, meeting room, just like a visitor's area, hallways with the different rooms and everything. I would like it to have a basement, and my dream is a basement with a home shooting range. I want to be able to have, like, stairs that go down to the basement, and then there's, like, a big metal door, and then another metal door on the other side of that, so it's like a sound-proof airlock, and you go through that, and it's a little cubby with a long room, and at the end is a big pile of, like, chopped-up tires, like the rubber bits, and it's a home shooting range with, like, the thing and everything. People have home shooting ranges. I can show you, like, an idea of what I'm going for. Tim Pool has basically this, but it's a skateboard park underneath his compound, by the way. Like, right-wingers all across the board have shit like this. It's not that far-fetched to say that one lefty content creator could achieve it, you know? If actually, it wouldn't even be one. It would be, like, all of the decent lefty content creators who have a platform working together to make this happen, ideally. So yeah, this is this guy's property, and you'll see what I'm talking about with the gun range, the home gun range. Here's his armory. Very awesome, very jealous. I'm quite jealous, but I'm about to be even more jealous. Here's the range. That's what I'm talking about. That's real nice. I think I've shot that. So yeah, that is the idea. That is the basic idea, would be to have that in the basement. Sue Washington to end the assault weapons ban so you can have this? Real. Honestly, the more that I think about it, the more that I think in the end, Colorado will be my home state in the very end. If I can get my dream property, my dream house, wherever if I can make it happen where the streamer setup, like the streamer compound happens, I think Colorado would be ideal. Colorado is based in all departments. Like, their gun laws are, like, insanely lax. You can own tanks in Colorado. There is a guy, let me show you what you can do in Colorado. On top of that, Colorado is based with its trans and LGBT legislation, one of the first states to roll out protections for trans people during this whole, like, wave of anti-trans legislation. One of the first states, I think, to legalize gay marriage. I'm pretty sure Colorado, notoriously, people would go there if they were gay to get married, right? Wasn't that a thing back in the day? Like, Colorado was one of those states? They were one of the first states to legalize weed. one of the very first states to legalize weed. And then on top of that, New York and Massachusetts were big too, but Colorado, I think, was one of them. And then on top of that, let me show you an extreme example of how lax their gun laws are. The most armed man in America. I'm about to show you guys a fucking nut job.
My name is Mel Bernstein, and they call me the most armed man in America. I have over 4,000 weapons in my name, over 200 machine guns. I have mortars, bazookas, tanks,
This is Colorado.
attack jeeps, flamethrower, and everything I have is legal in the state of Colorado. This is the front door at Dragoman's, my gun store. Right now, you're not a trespasser, you're a target.
3% of Americans own, according to a recent study, over 50% of guns. You probably fall into that group.
Yeah.
Why do you think so few people have such a large concentration of weapons?
You
Democrats?
get addicted to them. You know, it gets in your...
It's Democrat politicians. The more as gun ownership, by person starts to grow, you start to see more progressive people getting the guns. It's because conservatives are a very small portion of the population. They were the ones buying most of the guns for a while. And now Democrats are passing bills, like in Washington, where conservatives have already built their armories like this that are preventing Democrats and liberals from buying guns. COVID resulted in a massive spike in gun sales and gun purchases, and a spike in large part because liberals and Democrat voters were buying guns. That is the only point, and a lot of those liberal and Democrat voters aren't white, and that is the point when all of a sudden, Democrats were finally able to get some gun reform passed, like in the form of, in the state of Washington, banning semi-auto rifles.
Blood. We're driving up my property now, and there's all kinds of warning signs, as you can see. If anybody comes on your property and threatens you with bodily harm, it's legal to shoot them. Colorado law. They should have that nationwide.
Remember, by the way, it's not a ban on owning semi-auto rifles, it's a ban on sale. So they passed that during the spike of libs buying guns, and yeah, it's pretty shit. This guy was a registered Democrat. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, brother.
Hey, this is one of the first signs they see when they drive up Dragoman Drive, which I actually have 6 shooting ranges.
By the way, that is what, the Republican side of the country is, by the way. You'll be, driving down the road. This isn't even, you don't have to be on his property to see this. This is if you're driving down the road. You see, the shot-up car with the mannequin in it and a sign that says this guy was a registered Democrat. If you're a European and, you don't know what it's like to be out in, rural bumfuck nowhere in America, you will see signs that are literally meant to indicate you will be killed for being, liberal or left-leaning. This guy was a registered Democrat. Is that him threatening to shoot Democrat voters? Yeah, obviously.
I actually have 6 shooting ranges.
He has that on the side of the road. How is that legal?
Whatever the killer used.
Freedom of speech, First Amendment. It's America.
That's what they want. They want to feel the
It's his
firepower.
property.
They want to have the gun just like that to show people.
So they're inspired, in a way.
Oh, yeah, the business, it goes up. We've been selling more guns in the last 3 weeks than we did in the last 8 months. This is just like the AR-15 that the shooter used in Sutherland, Texas, in the church. They all adapt to a 30-round magazine.
You want to see how insane this guy really is? Let's see the inside of his house.
And yeah, I got it all fixed up like oldies. Brings back a lot of memories to me when I grew up in New York.
What was it like growing up there in Brooklyn?
Tough neighborhood back then. I used to get beat up all the time. I had to pay 25 cents to the bullies for protection, every week.
So you were bullied when you were young?
The bullies, yeah. They bullied me. And then when I got older, I bullied the other kids. It's a whole cycle. Let me show you my bedroom here. We got about 8 machine guns in here. We got sawed-off shotguns. We got M16s. We got handguns all around the whole area. I have 4 girls that live with me. This is Betty. We got Betty here. We got Jill. We got
They're mannequins.
Jennifer. I need somebody to talk to, tell my problems. They never really ask to go shopping or out to eat. They're very polite. Say like that. And, you know, we talk about machine guns and hot rods and, you know, stuff I like. I don't really care what you like because she never says nothing anyway. I'm real nice to them. When it gets cold, you know, in the winter, I even put underwear on them. You know, I'm a good boyfriend.
This is pretty sad. His wife died mysteriously, by the way. I just thought I'd let you guys know. His wife died under mysterious circumstances. I just thought you guys should know that. Anyway, so they got the weed, the pro, like, progressive legislation, but they're also super pro-gun in Colorado. I think Colorado is, like, my dream state. I really do. I'm going to stay here for a mighty long time, but I think the end game is honestly Colorado. They tick all the boxes. Weed, progressive, guns, mountains, snow, cold, surprisingly cheap, by the way. I think overall, it's just a fantastic idea. Switzerland? I don't think you can even, like, say the word gun in Switzerland. Anyway. It is time for the final segment of the day. Wait, it's on our other channel. Oh. Okay, everybody. You all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. Well, everybody, people have been telling me to watch this for like a week now. Like a little over a week, people have been telling me to watch this video. Apparently, Keffals debated someone named Yankee Tankie. I only know this guy as like a really screamy dude. I know he's a tankie. I know he's like a Marxist-Leninist psychopath. Isn't he like super loud and screamy? Apparently this debate gets really wild. He starts yelling. I don't know anything about it other than that. I have not seen this yet. But people have been telling me I should watch it on stream. So I think it's time that we did. Vosh debated him? I haven't seen that. I just know that he's like screamy. I've seen him very screamy with somebody. I think he debated Dylan and I saw that. I think I've seen him debate Dylan. And he was like screaming at Dylan maybe? Yeah, I think I saw his debate with Dylan. And like Dylan blew him the fuck out and then he started screaming. Another screaming man? Yeah, Dylan's gotten... If I had a nickel for the amount of time Dylan has debated a screamy tankie, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. He was in Maupin's cult and the Vosh debate was hilarious. We should watch the Vosh debate at some point, but apparently this debate with Keffals was insane. So let's go ahead and give it a watch because I'm very curious to see how awesome it is. Naomi Chance, thank you for the $2 donation. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Thanks for the super chat. Much love from the LGBT CIA. Real. Real and true and not false.
Warning. This video contains heavy use of transphobic and homophobic slurs.
What powers do I have? I bring up Dylan debating Yankee Tankie, and all of a sudden we hear Dylan's voice. I swear this is not a pre-watch, guys. I just have abilities that I don't fully understand yet, I guess. Fuck.
Tropes, dead naming, and other various forms of bigotry that may be unsettling for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Stop interrupting me, you fucking cuck!
What?
Let me tell you what the fucking facts are, you fucking stupid... I can't say that. Goddamn fucking Twitch TOS fucking porn apples. It's obvious they're porn apples.
How?
You're pretending to be a fucking woman.
Focusing. I've been asking you to explain one concept. Just one Marxist concept. And you can't explain it.
Tankies, when you get them upset and they accidentally let slip that they're just fascists, but with the communist aesthetic.
You know you don't know what it means, so you keep pivoting. You don't believe in Marxist theory, you don't believe in Leninist theory. You've shit on Mao, you've shit on Xi Jinping. I have met people who have died, people who have dead family members who fought in actual revolutions, and you are pitiful. You know nothing about what you're talking about, and you're a fucking LARPer. The people that I know who have put their life on the lines in the name of revolution would think that you're a fucking pathetic loser.
Shut the fuck up, porn idol.
How?
Now,
explain.
Shut the fuck up, the fucking true.
Can you explain to me why you can't have a conversation about Chinese politics without devolving into transgender slurs?
Shutting the fuck up when I'm talking to you.
Okay, so I muted him again because he can't have this conversation like a grown-up without calling me slurs, which, you know, I haven't actually insulted him in any way like that. This is really a behavioral issue on his part and probably why he's been banned from all these organizations.
Yeah, no shit. Holy fuck. Did Yankee Tankie get
Let me
fatter?
introduce our guest for the day, Yankee Tankie. Hello.
Hello.
We put this off for a long time, but it's great to finally talk to you.
What is it about tankies and, like, being mentally unstable to the extent of getting them to scream like this if you get them upset? Like, what is that? Like, it's like you got Haas who will just start screaming. I'm pretty sure that Jackson Hinkle does it. This guy does it. Like, why do they go fully, like, pedal to the metal, screamy schizo when you get them upset? Like, Bada Banada? Like, is there something about, like, this particular type of violent mental illness that attracts tankies or something? I don't know. Or is it the other way around?
It's great to actually be in a debate with you. I think it's about time, considering, you know, it's been, what, several months since my debate with, like, Dylan Burns, the first debate with Dylan Burns. I'm pretty sure that's when I initially challenged you, and I feel like you've been dodging me since then.
Yeah, I watched your Vosh debate, and you kind of kicked his fucking ass, and I've been, like, scared to, like, I don't know, man.
Lovely sarcasm, but I know you don't feel that way.
Okay, I'm sorry, but Yankee Tankie sounds like... There's this YouTube Shorts guy that I watch that does this running skit of, like, Redditor does thing in real life, and this guy's voice and mannerisms sound identical to the Redditor character that YouTube Shorts guy does. Like, literal identical voice and mannerisms.
Sure.
Is Keffals a good person? Yeah, Keffals is great. She's Pog.
100% positive. I know.
She did turn my FF14 character into a Catboy, though, so that's worth considering that.
What side you're on, Keffals?
What side am I on?
You would definitely be on the side of the LGBTQ CIA agenda.
What is the LGBTQ CIA agenda?
Okay.
Well, it's just part of the many sections of a Malthusian plot to decrease the population.
Okay.
That's true.
It is true. Now, I imagine you're going to attempt to brandish me as some sort of insane person that shouldn't be taken seriously, correct?
I mostly just want to talk. I figured that's like the best way to get down to it, right? Like, instead of doing a debate, doing a dialectic, we both put our ideas forward and we try to come out with a synthesis and with the best.
Just so you know, he says the LGBTQ CIA agenda like 1,000 times. That's good to know.
Idea based on what we both know.
Yeah, I know that you used to be part of the Communist Party, and you know all the linguistics, if you will, to sound like you know what you're talking about, for sure.
I mean, yeah, I've done a little reading. I've read my Lenin, Stalin, Mao. You know.
Right. You've read some, but do you truly understand it if you have already rejected Marxist-Leninist principles?
Well,
Doubtful.
Why don't you ask me a question then? I'll see.
This guy's
where
just
we
got
both
the
stand on
Redditor
something.
gene, I think.
Okay. How do you feel about China?
How do I feel about China?
Okay, this guy, I need to show you the Redditor, like, fucking... I need to show you what I'm referencing so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about, and I need to play that clip again. Okay, thanks for the autoplay, YouTube. I need to show this to you very quick. I'm sorry, I have to. Hold on. Oh god, I have to show you this. Average Redditor goes to dry cleaning, okay? I need you to let this person's voice and mannerisms for this skit burn into your mind, okay?
Hi, sir. What a very beautiful and unique coat. Would you like us to clean that for you today? No, I was actually planning on stripping naked and having you wash the clothes I'm already wearing. Huh, yeah, we certainly wouldn't want that. So we want this dry cleaned today? Dry cleaned? Yeah, because it's a nice coat. I didn't think you would want it laundered. I don't want either option. I would like that coat to be washed properly with the chemical tetrachloroethylene. Right, yeah, that's dry cleaning. How could that be dry cleaning when tetrachloroethylene is a liquid? Last time I checked, liquids are wet, they're not dry. Yeah, you're right, but it's just an industry term. It's been around forever. It means the exact same thing. It's apparent that the participants of this industry do not have modicum understanding of basic chemistry. You know what, sir, I think it's best you go someplace else. Not only are you being incredibly condescending, but there's a putrid smell coming off this jacket, and frankly, I don't want to risk contaminating one of my machines. Hi, sir.
Okay, now I want you to listen to this clip again, okay?
I mean, yeah, I've done a little reading. I've read my Lenin, Stalin, Mao. You know.
Right. You've read some, but do you truly understand it if you have already rejected Marxist-Leninist principles?
Well,
Doubtful.
Why don't you ask?
Yeah, now you see it? Now you see it. Now you know what I'm talking about. Yep. This guy's got Redditor brain deep. This guy's got Redditor brain to the fucking core. His spinal cord has been infected. His lizard brain has blackened from Redditor brain.
Ask me a question, then. I'll see where we both stand on something.
Okay. How do you feel about China?
How do I feel about China?
You'll never be able to unhear it now.
I feel that China went through a period of capitalist restoration after the Cultural Revolution. Mao himself said that China was going down a capitalist path, and he tried to launch the Cultural Revolution in order to keep China on a path of socialist construction. It failed. Deng Xiaoping rose to power, and now we see China what it is today, which is the worst aspects of both the capitalist market economy and authoritarian
How dare
governance.
you do this to me? I'm sorry, Bal.
So you think that China lifting millions of people out of poverty is a negative thing?
What does that have to do with socialist economics, though? They did that under a
It has
capitalist
everything to
market
do with
economy.
socialist economics.
Exactly.
It has everything to do with socialist economics.
I think it's awesome.
I think it's awesome that millions of people have been lifted out of poverty because socialism in China, unlike the Soviet Union, was capable of actually reforming their system internally instead of internally collapsing.
Right, but they did that by capitalism. They didn't do that by
They did it by socialism. They expanded production.
No, they didn't. They have a state capitalist economy. That's why there's the amount of millionaires in China is growing more than any other country in the world, and why half of the world's concrete, how much is it? It's over half of the world's concrete is currently being used in China for construction. Like half the world's brick, half the world's concrete, like a 40% of the world's steel is being consumed by China for construction. Those are massive corporations. A lot of them actually being facilities that are outsourced from American corporations, European corporations. Coal and mineral wealth too. Yeah, they are like extremely capitalist. Not to mention the quality of living for the average citizen in China is criminally low for the amount of wealth and power the country has in the world stage. They've got a worse problem with, like, citizen poverty and quality of life than we do here in America. And it's pretty bad here in America. It's also pretty bad in China. And it's because it's capitalist. It's just the state has more control, which means a lot of the time money is being allocated into places that are surprisingly less good for the consumers, because for all of, like, free-ish market capitalism's faults, it does tend to... Ideally, people have money and they're buying things, you know? That might not necessarily be the motivation of some Chinese oligarch.
Productive forces, something that Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels have talked deeply about, and something that, frankly, both Lenin and Stalin also advocated for. They didn't just allow the communes to be the only form, the only mechanism to expand productive forces. They did allow market forces in the Soviet Union, and that's the same thing China's doing, just on a larger scale.
No, I mean, if you want to ignore the fact that they do not have a socialist economy, that's fine. But
they do have a socialist economy. The mode of production is inherently socialist.
Exactly.
Wait,
no, that's not true. You just said the same thing. The mode of production refers to the economy.
The mode of production refers to the industrial scale.
No, it refers to the
economic
economy.
System. No, it doesn't refer.
So what he's trying to claim now, from my understanding, is that China right now, rapidly industrializing, is like when the USSR rapidly industrialized right before a massive famine. Here's the kicker. The Soviet Union forced a shit ton of farmers to work in factories when that famine hit. And there was a bunch of drought and shit, and there wasn't enough food. You know what the Soviet Union did after that? They rolled into what are now Ukrainian cities and towns, confiscated their food, and then took it to Moscow. Yeah, so yeah, one of those moves. I guess that is by his definition socialist. You know, that's what he thinks socialism is.
To the economy, you're getting it mixed up between the means of production and the mode of production. These are
a mode
two
of production
separate things.
refers to the type of economy that a country has.
A mode of production refers to the technological advancement of their system. As it is, even the United States right now is a socialist mode of production. The means of production is owned by the bourgeoisie, but the mode of production is socialist.
The United States is socialist?
The mode of production in the United States is socialist through the Fourth Industrial Revolution.
You cannot have a socialist country if it doesn't have a socialist economy. That goes against base superstructure.
Again, you're getting it confused.
Remember, these people are just Nazis with communist aesthetics, so, like, yeah, to them, China is perfect because that's what it is. It's basically just fascist with communist aesthetics, and so that's what they're in favor of. They're just the flip side of Nazis. They're Nazis who don't like the aesthetics of Nazism, so instead they go with the whole USSR China red fascist aesthetic. There were the same type of kids in high school who thought it was super edgy to wear a Ushanka to school with the little hammer and sickle on it. You know those kids? Like, there were the Nazi kids, but then there were the kids who thought they were super edgy to wear Ushanka with a hammer and sickle to school. Many of you were probably that kid. Hopefully you're not anymore. Yeah, with the fingerless gloves, too.
We're talking about the means of production, not the mode of production.
No, the superstructure of a society is determined by the base. The base of society being their type of economy.
The base of society, the mode of production is socialist, but the means of production is owned by the bourgeoisie.
Right, the means of production is owned by the bourgeoisie in China.
No, it is not. It's not owned by anything other than the Communist Party of China.
What? You mean the state? And also know there are more millionaires coming out of China, like happening, like millionaires being made in China than any other country on the planet? Like, it is very much capitalist.
That doesn't make any sense. Because under that logic, Saudi Arabia is a socialist country.
No, Saudi Arabia is state capitalist.
How is China not state capitalist, but Saudi Arabia is?
Because it has the Marxist-Leninist party of the CCP.
That doesn't mean anything if the economy
The
is not
superstructure
socialist.
is socialist. The superstructure is socialist. And the mode
can't
of
be unless
production,
the
not the
base
means,
is.
but the mode of production is socialist.
This is insane. This guy's, like, thought process is so out of whack that you can't even engage with it, because he actually thinks names make thing a thing. Which is weird, because he doesn't apply the same thing to trans people. Like, if you used his logic, then simply calling a trans person a woman, like a trans woman a woman, would be enough for him. But with trans people, it's not enough. But with, like, the Communist Party of China, he believes that, because that's what it's called. Government pretends to be socialist, therefore socialist? Yeah. I love those fireworks. Very nice. What's going on? It's daytime. It's blazingly bright out. It's not time to do fireworks yet. The fuck?
That doesn't make any
Like I said, it does make sense if you actually read Marxist-Leninist ideas. You don't.
have.
It's all just for show. You pretended to be part of the Communist Party, and you
Ye who cast the first stone
have clearly shown that you don't understand Marxist-Leninist principles at all. If you don't expand the mode of production, if you don't advance it, then China just would have been, you know, socialism and poverty or whatever. If we wanted socialism and poverty, you know, like, we would just, you know, they would never expanded. It would be like Cuba is today. Cuba has socialism amongst poverty right now. China actually has socialism amongst wealth. And that's the fundamental difference. You want people to be...
No! The working class in China lives in nowhere near of good of living conditions as Americans. And Americans, the working class doesn't live in nearly good enough average living conditions to justify how wealthy this country is. The same goes for China. China is the second most powerful country in the world. It should have much higher quality of living for its working class, and we should too. There's absolutely a small bourgeoisie class in China, and they control the entire market and economy because they are part of the fucking oligarchy, or they're bought out by it. That's how it works. Yeah, he's saying that Deng's market reforms were socialist because the government is literally just called the Communist Party. It's in name only. He actually just thinks the name makes it communist. That's what I'm saying. You can't engage with it. Like, there's no way you can actually argue with that because it's so stupid that you have to like do 50 canisters of whippets just to burn your brain cells down enough to operate on a world that stupid and simple.
Be impoverished. You don't want them actually prosper.
If I wanted
And that's
people
why
to
you
be
criticize
impoverished,
China.
why did I just say it was a good idea that they raise millions of people out of absolute poverty? I agree with that.
Because it's a lie. It's a lie. You're
It's not a
lying.
lie. I'm not an ideologue.
If it was...
How has Hassan done Russia apologia? Where should I start? So if we go back to Crimea, he's justified Russia's taking of Crimea. If we go back to when the war was about to start and every person who knew what the fuck they were talking about knew it because Russia was mobilizing units and blood bags, which go bad in like weeks to the border. Everybody knew an invasion was going to start. Hassan denied it and said it was war hawkish lib shit to believe that Russia was going to invade. Then Russia did invade, and Hassan was like, yeah, but to be fair, that area used to be part of Russia originally back in the day. And then he got shit for it and he walked it back. Yeah, he's at every single turn, he's found a way to try to defend Russia. Hassan wants to please the massive audience of tankies he has.
Not a lie, then you wouldn't have been against the Chinese government, the CCP, and what they have...
Isn't it okay for people to be wrong? Why is it that Hassan gets so much leeway? I know you wouldn't give me that kind of leeway. I know you wouldn't give that leeway to me. If I did what Hassan did, I know for a fact you wouldn't give that generosity to me.
Effectively been doing.
I'm not against what they're doing. I'm happy that they did it.
Clearly,
I just
you must
don't
be.
believe that it's
I mean,
socialist.
unless you're just saying that, oh, you know, I'm one of the fucking idiots that think that this is...
Also, Hassan's an asshole. He literally has, like, Vosh's community and Keffals' community banned from his community. And I'm sure if he knew who I was, he'd have my community banned too. Because we actually have, like, principles and won't, like, allow our communities to be festered full of, like, the worst types of people on the left. Like Tankies, like this guy, for example.
Capitalism.
See,
which
this is the
fucking
problem.
wrong.
You can't take a pragmatic approach to these things. You can both think that that's a good idea without believing that China is a socialist country because they betrayed the ideological principles the Communist Party stood for.
What ideological principles have they betrayed?
What ideological principles? So, under Mao Zedong, the primary contradiction in China was between the proletariat and the bourgeoisie. That changed on.
Also, Hassan should box Sam Hyde. I do believe he should. I want Hassan to box Sam Hyde. I genuinely believe that.
Under Deng Xiaoping.
Not necessarily, but
no,
okay.
that is actually what it was within the Communist Party Congress.
We're just ignoring the fact that the peasantry was the driving factor of the Chinese Revolution.
You're not arguing with me right now. You're arguing with Matt.
It's because he's buff, Zan. When you get big muscles, you'll be forgiven for everything. It's fucking real, dude. There's only two ways to become, like, hot enough to people on the left that I can get away with everything, okay? It's either I go full Finster and I become a femboy. I'll be hot enough that none of you guys will, like, nobody will be able to criticize me. Or become, like, roided out and bulky as fuck like Hassan and just be a big muscle Chad. Either one of those two is the only way, okay? There is no other way. Or to grow out that stupid, like, mustache and mullet. I could do that. I could stay the same way I am now physically, but grow out a mustache and a mullet, and then that's the middle ground that'll have the same effect.
Ow.
I'm not arguing with Mao. Mao did not betray the peasantry.
No, I'm telling you what the primary contradiction was according to the Chinese Communist Party under Mao. Through the CPC National Congress, that was what was decided upon. Hello?
I like to think he's actually just standing
He
completely
froze.
still.
I think oh, he's back?
Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Can you show me where Zedong specifically said that the peasantry were not part of, it wasn't a class collaboration?
That's not what I was saying. I was talking about the principal contradiction.
That's what you're implying. You're implying that the only two.
Let's skip to what things
into the
start
ever-growing
working.
material and cultural needs of the people versus backwards social production, a historical policy shift at the heart of reform and opening up. Developing the economy mainly through growth was thus endorsed by the CPC as the central task. Market economic reform, seen at the time as the magic bullet to transform production, were unleashed on a unprecedented scale. That is what I was trying to read. I don't know why you got so aggressive.
Your argument was disproven by everything you just read.
No, my only argument
It
was that
literally
the principal
was.
contradiction, according to the Communist Party's National Congress, used to be proletariat versus bourgeoisie, which is central to Marxist thought.
Before the actual Red Revolution, when Mao was trying to still work with the nationalists?
No, that was after.
As soon as Mao started working with the peasantry, he understood that it was a class collaboration
What year are
between
you talking
the
about in
peasantry,
China's
the
history?
working class. Why do I have to bring up the exact year?
Because I'm trying to.
We already know the order of events. The order of events were Mao tried to work with the nationalists. He tried to just work with the working class to try to overthrow the bourgeoisie. It did not work. And then once he realized that the nationalists were never going to work with him, he was forced to take, go into the fucking north and actually, fight a protracted people's war. And he went to the peasantry. That's who he went to. He didn't go to the workers. He understood this. This is a matter of historical fact. It's completely
I'm
undeniable.
talking about after 1949. That was when the primary contradiction changed.
You're not talking about 1949.
Yes, because before.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
What you're talking
I'm
about
literally reading-
is contradicting exactly what the Chinese Communist Party, well, before they were a party, what the Red Revolution actually did. They worked
I'm
with the
literally
peasantry.
reading
It's
Chinese
undeniable.
news to you right now.
And you know what, though? You're selecting works that have nothing to do with the reality of what we're talking about.
I'm
here,
reading the
okay?
official documents from the
Literally,
19th
It doesn't
Communist
matter
Party of
what you're
China National
officially reading
Congress.
because we know what the circumstance was. We know that Mao failed to work with the nationalists.
He's mad that she's reading like actual records from the from China back then. He's mad that she's reading the actual like documents. No, you're not allowed to actually bring up evidence. No, we have to talk about my explanation of what actually happened. Trust me, bro. I've read a lot of theory. Trust me, bro. Keffals is extremely in the know about all this shit. It's impressive. Yeah, you should be watching her if you aren't already.
And was forced to go to the countryside and talk with the peasantry and work with the peasantry. And it became a coalition of the working class, the peasantry, and sections of the small landlords and the petite bourgeoisie that fought against the Chinese nationalists.
So, like,
and
I
the
need you to know I'm
imperialists that
not
were backing
disagreeing
them.
with you, but you're getting mad that I'm reading documents from the 19th CPC
I'm getting
National
mad
Congress.
that you are failing to actually argue your point.
I
Your
haven't
point
even
is-
set up my point.
Your point about, it was actually, just the
haven't
working
gotten
class
to the
versus
point
the
that I had to
bourgeoisie.
make.
It's just false. It's false.
What is false?
Your argument that it was only the working class and the bourgeoisie is false.
No, I was reading to you what the primary contradiction was in China in post-49.
That doesn't matter to your point. It doesn't matter. We
No,
know
it
what
does
the
matter.
actual
You
reality
didn't
was.
let me
No,
get
it
to
doesn't
my
matter.
point.
No, it doesn't matter.
It
doesn't
does.
matter because you're fucking retard, okay? Shut the fuck up. I know the history.
spicy.
You clearly don't.
You're the one who's yelling at me over reading official
I'm yelling
Chinese
at you
party
because you're a
documents
fucking
to you.
stupid troon, okay? Now
Okay,
shut the
we're
fuck
getting
up
spicy.
and realize the situation. China.
Do you feel like a big boy now?
Under Mao.
You feeling like
it
a
was
big
shown,
boy?
It was shown under Mao that he worked with the peasantry and he worked with the working class, the petite bourgeoisie, and the small.
Remember, the tankies are all transphobic. There are some trans tankies as well that'll... Oh my god, they're the fastest to use idpull, but guess who else likes using idpull? Trans conservatives, and trans Nazis, and black conservatives, and black Nazis. Love using idpull. The trans tankies are the same way. They believe the same things this guy does. They're just as huge a pieces of shit. But... they're trans, and so they use the idpull as, like, a way to attack people. You see it often.
All-time landlords, and he built a class collaboration to fight the Chinese nationalists.
Okay, look. I have to mute you because you can't call me transphobic slurs on Twitch. You can do it in your Tankie Discord after this, but please be respectful for the platform. Nothing I
Okay.
said really constituted that kind of attack. That's a bit uncalled for.
I don't
haven't
care.
called you a single name.
I don't care how you feel. I really don't care how you feel.
Why did you want to debate in the first place, then?
To fucking debunk your bullshit, your fucking LGBTQ CIA agenda bullshit.
I'm
That's what you
reading
always
Communist
push.
Party documents to you. This has nothing to do with transgender
And you're
issues.
reading Chinese Communist Party documents without any context to what we're actually talking about. There's nothing that you...
No, you're not allowed to read the evidence in the documents. You have to believe my explanation of what really happened. Trust me, bro. Dude, tankies love that. They're like, no, don't Google that. Listen to my explanation of what really happened. You have to understand, I can give you the true context. You don't read the documents.
You're reading right now that's relevant to what we're talking about.
I think it is relevant. Absolutely.
You're a fucking retard.
Okay, I mean, like, what I'm saying is relevant to Bombard the Headquarters, the short document written by Mao in 66.
It's not relevant to the reality that we saw with China. It was class collaboration. It's undeniable. That is what happened.
Wait, what is undeniable?
That it was class collaboration. The Red Revolution was class collaboration. It was the working class, it was the peasantry, it was the petite bourgeoisie, and it was the small-time landlords.
Right, but the primary contradiction I was talking about occurred after the
The
revolution.
primary contradiction that we're talking about is in the context of the revolution. We're not talking about anything post that. You're bringing that up because you're trying to
I mean, I
confuse
started
the
this
points
conversation
and confuse
talking
your
about
audience.
the Cultural Revolution, which happened in the 1970s.
I was not talking about the Cultural Revolution. I never was.
What?
I was never talking about the Cultural Revolution.
That was the point I was trying to
Well,
make.
that's because you're fucking retarded. I wasn't arguing on the basis of the Cultural Revolution, so it's an irrelevant point.
No, it's relevant to my
It's
argument.
entirely irrelevant. Your argument is irrelevant because that's not the context of the argument I'm making. If you're actually going to make an argument, you should be actually addressing what I'm talking about instead of what you're bringing up that happened,
No,
you
because
know,
I
a
was trying
decade
to
and a
set up
quarter
my
into the
argument,
future.
and you were getting
Your
mad at me
argument,
because you
your
don't like
argument has
Chinese
nothing to
people.
do with that. Your argument has nothing to do with that. That's what was happening down the road. I'm talking about what founded China. And what you're talking about is entirely
Okay,
irrelevant
but the
to
person
what
who
I'm referring
founded
to.
China disagreed before his death on where China was headed as a country.
And Mao was losing his fucking mind by that point. Mao was at the point of where Reagan was towards the end of his presidency. That's irrelevant.
Wow, so you think the great chairman was insane?
Let me give you an idea of like how much Nazis and Tankies are just the same. When I got banned from Twitter because I told a lolicon transphobe to KYS, and I got permanently banned for it because bullying pedophiles is not allowed on Twitter. We know, Elon Musk and Epstein were pretty good friends, so it's understandable. They're a protected class on Twitter now. But yeah, I got banned, and I looked on Reddit, and there were 2 subreddits that back-to-back in the same, 5-minute span posted about me getting banned from Twitter and celebrating it. The first one was the Nazi one. It was from Kotaku in Action 2. For those that don't know, Kotaku in Action was the subreddit that started Gamergate. Kotaku in Action 2 is the new subreddit because the old one got banned, where they're trying to make Gamergate 2 happen. And so they were like, Xander Hall got deplatformed from Twitter. And then a bunch of crab emojis. And the one right on top of that is from Enough Vosh Spam, the Tankie subreddit that's centered on trying to get Vosh banned. And it's Vosh clone Xander Hall has been banned or something like that. And it's the Tankie subreddit with basically the same posts but worded slightly differently, and all the same comments but worded slightly differently in the replies. And it just really makes you realize, wow, everyone who hates me is 1, really stupid and awful, 2, all the same, and 3, both these sides should hate Twitter and Elon Musk. Well, I guess the Nazis like Elon Musk and Twitter. They shouldn't be in favor of me getting banned. And why are the Tankies celebrating Elon Musk banning me for making fun of a transphobe? Interesting. And you realize very quickly that both sides' primary motivation is the left is bad, dunk on lefties.
I think that any person that stays in a position of power too long, that is not mentally with it as they get to, an elderly age, shouldn't be in a position of power. And that is proven when Mao is contradicting all of his works based on the conditions that he existed in during the revolution. So it's
you're
not a
saying
relevant
the
point.
Marxist-Leninist governance model is inherently flawed because it allows people to stay in power for significantly long periods of time without checks.
Incorrect. That clearly didn't happen to Stalin. That clearly didn't happen to Lenin. They all died at a reasonable time period.
Because
we
they
also
got
know
sick
for
and
a fact
died.
that all other existing socialist countries also didn't really have this problem.
dude.
It was really because of the conditions of the Chinese Communist Party and because of U.S. influence that China was having these issues at that time. And it clearly recovered. They clearly figured out the way to actually have people in power within a reasonable amount of time. We see that the Chinese system was capable of reform.
How did that
something
change?
You're denying that exists.
What was the policy change?
Well, the policy change, what are you referring to? Specifically in the regards of old age or whatever?
Yeah, 'cause
I don't know
that's what
the
you're
exact
talking
name of the policy, but we can see that whatever China did, the end result was that there's no longer people in positions of political leadership that are so elderly that they're go against everything that they fought for during a revolution. It's clear that the Chinese system reforms. I can't pinpoint the exact policy, but I don't need to because we can see the end condition.
So you don't.
Oh, he let it slip. Keffals is trying to read documents and bring up exact policies, and he's like, I don't need to bring up exact policies.
Or whatever policies
Because
are
that goes
implemented.
against any sort of Marxist analysis.
We can
You're supposed to
examine the
analyze the data.
conditions. We can examine the conditions. That's what we actually have to examine. It doesn't matter this Anglo-box bullshit that you're trying to say that's something to do with Marxist-Leninism. No, that's bullshit. We know for a fact the China system was capable of reforming.
How is that
the Chinese system, by trying to use so-called evidence
I've
as
only,
some sort of
so far,
He's such a Redditor, bro. Oh my god. Do I need to show you guys more of that guy's skits? Because this guy, there's literally a clip in one of those skits where the Redditor says that like that and does the quotes with his hands. Oh my god. He is the most stereotypical Redditor. It's actually insane. I didn't know they made people like this. I thought it was just a meme.
Defense when we can see what the end results of the conditions of these policies actually are. We can see what these end results of these policies are. We don't have to look into, the fine details or whatever, because we see what the end results of the policies are. That is what actually is dialectical, is examining the conditions in which we exist.
That goes against what the Chinese Communist Party itself does.
You fail to do that. You fail to do that because you're a fucking, I can't say the word TOS, but you know what I mean.
Okay, I get it. You're a little angry boy. You need to keep turning this back to identity politics.
He wanted to say the T-slur, but he can't.
But all I'm trying to do is talk to you about Chinese
because
politics.
You're part of the LGBTQ CIA agenda. I know what you're pushing. You're trying to feminize the masculine people in our society. You're trying to turn everyone that you fucking can into some sort of TOS. And when you're doing that, you're purposely causing the reduction of this population. You are cursing the Western civilizations, whether it be the United States, Germany, France, or Ireland, to an agenda that is going to kill off the human population over time.
They're just Nazis. Remember, they are all just Nazis. They just like the commie aesthetic more than the Nazi aesthetics. They go with the commie aesthetic. They're all just Nazis. That's why I treat them like it, because this is always the case. Every Marxist-Leninist, every Tankie, every authoritarian communist, this is what they are. The frustrating thing is you have to, get a few cracks in the armor for them to reveal this is what they are, because they really like to put on this veneer of civility and, oh yeah, I've read so much theory, I'm so well-mannered, and I'm very knowledgeable, I'm gonna educate you now. And you, try to read evidence back to them after they pull a bunch of shit out of their ass and they start screaming at you. He also likes to target Jewish people. Yeah, they're Nazis too. Yeah.
And allow the bourgeois elites to be able to maintain their
that was interesting to me,
over
actually.
Western society.
What you were saying about Ireland.
You are advocating for the WEF. You are advocating for the fascism of liberalism. That is what you advocate for.
I find it interesting that you can't actually have the conversation about China.
CIA agenda.
That you need to go to talking about trans issues when we were having a conversation about China. None of this has to do with your argument.
All of your arguments are on the basis of this lie that you can be a fucking woman when we know for a fact you are a man.
How is me reading 19th Communist Party of China National Congress documents?
Lucas,
what does that have to do?
Shut the fuck up. Lucas, shut the fuck up.
Do you feel like a big boy?
Your LGBTQ CIA agenda bullshit, you will not be able to keep pushing this down the throats of the American people and the rest of Western society. You will be crushed.
Can I ask you a question, just respectfully, about Ireland? Because I know that was something that you found contentious.
I can tell you that regardless of my knowledge of Irish politics...
This is what they're all like, especially the ones that like to woke scold you on Twitter and call you transphobic for not agreeing with them that, America is always bad or whatever.
That the IRA, back in the day, would never have allowed a TOS to be able to just move to their country.
Right. So... do you agree when one of the Republicans...
When he says TOS, he means the F slur or the T slur, I guess.
First minister said about a decade ago now that homosexuality should be made illegal?
No, I actually don't believe in that argument.
You don't?
No.
Interesting.
I believe that you should incentivize traditional lifestyles. That's what I advocate for.
Oh, that was why they were trying to make that argument.
Which you don't incentivize traditional lifestyles just by banning the alternative. You actually financially, materially, promote the idea that you should get married to a woman and give...
Yes, we'll cure gayness by giving fucking stimulus checks to gay people who marry a woman. That would be fucking goated, dude. Can you imagine the amount of fucking fraud that would be going on if gay dudes and gay women and trans people could get a fucking check from the government for being in the closet? Do you know how much fraud would be happening? Like, oh man, oh the government's coming by today. Listen, I've been on hormones for 3 years now. You gotta get me a makeup. You gotta put a little bit of fake beard on me, okay? You gotta put a little makeup on me to make it look like I'm wrinklier, kind of. Yeah, okay. All right, you gotta get a binder on me now. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Yeah, like it would be like it'd be like when you have disability and you have to hide that, like it'd be like somebody who's doing disability fraud, right? And they're actually not. They don't have any disability, and so they have to like hide that they're not really disabled in public. But then when they get inside in their home, they can be fine. But with being LGBT and getting the checks for okay, I'm sorry. I took this bit too far, but I think that'd be hilarious. And if this guy's idea happened, the amount of fraud that would be happening would be fucking wild, dude. Every gay person in the country would be pretending to be in the closet and getting those checks for living a heteronormative lifestyle. Abso-fucking-lutely, bro. There are so many gay and trans people that are in the closet right now for free, okay? If you pay them for it, yeah, sure, okay.
Give you financial incentives to do so. That's what I advocate for. I want men and women to continue being able to get married and be able to afford having children. I want them to be able to have good material lives, and also rebuild the family unit, whether it be white Americans or black Americans or Hispanic Americans. It doesn't matter. We need families rebuilt in this country, and that's the kind of thing that this LGBTQIA agenda actually does. Personally, I don't really care. I might throw a slur here or there, but at the end of the day, I don't really care if gay people can get married. I don't really care that people as adults can legally transition, and get the medical procedures they need to do that. That's their own body and their own choice. Just like I believe that you should have the right to, I don't know what TOS is on Twitch, but get a or not. You should be able to make that decision.
So you're for same-sex marriage then?
You should also be able to have the choice to be able to get an abortion. I'm consistent on this issue, but ultimately I do recognize the importance of incentivizing traditional families. I understand the importance of incentivizing religion, and I understand the importance of being able to maintain the...
I don't hate gay or trans people, I promise, but I'm gonna scream several slurs at you.
Main structure that will allow an American communist movement to happen. Because without the American family...
I mean, we were talking about Ireland.
You have no foundation. The closest, the core thing of communism is community. And what is the smallest, most basic form of community? That is the family. And that's exactly what you want to destroy.
But you're for same-sex marriage?
I don't care if gay people get married. That's not my problem.
Interesting.
What is my problem is everyone becoming feminized. Everyone getting this agenda pushed down their fucking throats.
I mean, you're the one who's more fixated on this. You realize that, right? Because I came into this talking about China. I've only talked about Chinese Communist Party documents.
See, now you're pivoting back to this. But
yes, because that was what your initial argument was about.
I'm bringing this up. Why is this the reason I'm bringing this up? Because I understand that you're an unfaithful actor. You don't want to actually benefit the American people. And
I'm not American.
This is part of that basis. Yeah, now you're Irish. You don't want to benefit the
Irish
people.
I wasn't American before.
Whatever the fuck, you were Canadian, I don't give a shit. You don't give a shit about whatever Western country you came from and whatever Western country.
He's so stupid. It's just across the board. He has no fucking idea what he's talking about. Is it really this easy to be a Tankie streamer or whatever? Do you just have to scream a bunch of buzzwords off the top of your head? You don't understand the dialectical materialism of the living conditions of the working class when the oligarchs of the China's Communist Party, they implemented a state communist government. It is very good. I feel like I could just rant about, the most off-the-cuff bullshit, just, stringing together as many buzzwords as possible, and the average Tankie viewer of this guy's content would assume I'm actually saying something and watch it and just nod along. I genuinely feel like that's how it goes, because I've listened to Haas talk from the infrared guy, and he's actually just doing word salad, I'm pretty sure. It's actually, I think he's actually memeing, because the more I listen to him, the more it's very obvious he's doing purposeful word salad, and people are just eating it the fuck up.
you go to. You don't give a shit about human people. All you want to do is advocate for the LGBTQCI agenda, which is part of the Malthusian plot to reduce the population, to keep tearing apart our families in the United States.
You don't see how it's a bit weird to say that
we won't ever be able to stand against U.S. imperialism.
Are you capable of making your argument without yelling about it? Because I haven't done anything even half as aggressive
Why
to
do you care that I fucking yell? Stop being a little fucking bitch and actually fucking listen to what I'm goddamn saying.
Why are you so mad? Who hurt you?
Why am I so mad? Because you're advocating for the LGBTQCI agenda. You're advocating for reducing the population. You're advocating for eco-fascism. You're advocating...
Redditor talks to a woman for the first time.
For all of this shit that the U.S. imperialists and the
explain how I advocated for
all the he's like expressing all the rage of every woman who's ever friend-zoned him. Like, he's finally getting revenge against the femoids for all the women who ever friend-zoned him. Look at him. You can see it. The rage in his eyes. He's gonna get back at these women for all the times they rejected him and put him in the friend zone.
Go fascism.
Stop interrupting me, you fucking cuck.
What?
Let me tell you what the fucking facts are, you fucking stupid... I can't say that. Goddamn fucking Twitch TOS.
Why do you have to go to this extent?
Let me fucking tell you what
No, I'm
the facts
listening.
are.
I just want to know why you're so mad.
Okay, let me tell you what the facts are. The facts are, that's what you want to do. You want to reduce the population. You want to promote eco-fascism. And that's why you're against China. Because China is actually trying to lift people out of poverty.
I'm not against
instead of
China.
reducing the population. You are against China. We know you're
How
against
am I against China?
We know you're against Russia. We know you're
How am I
against
against Russia?
Libya. We know that you're
Can you
against
explain to me a
Iraq.
single
We
position
know
that I have
you're
made
against
that is
every
anti any of those things?
Anti-imperialist country in the world. We
What?
know this.
China-
Of course he's pro-Russia. Yes, Russia right now is very famously anti-imperialist, guys. Right now, in the world stage, Russia as anti-imperialist, oh, the two peas in a pod. Those words go together super well.
It is imperialist.
You promote the LGBTQCI
China is one of the largest
agenda.
imperialist countries in the world. What are you talking about?
Keffals, everything
Also, don't talk about what China's doing in Africa. That's not imperialism, I promise.
is linked back to that, Keffals. That is what the facts of the situation.
Or what Russia is doing in also Africa and the Middle East. That's not imperialism, I promise.
That's what the facts are. You are part of this LGBTQCIA agenda, and that's why you fundamentally are not an honest actor. You can't even be honest about what gender you are.
What? Did you think that was a really funny zinger? But anyway, what I was saying is that China is one of the largest imperialist countries in the world, and if you actually read Marxist-Leninist literature, you would agree with that point. Lenin made it very clearly in Imperialism, the Highest State of Capitalism, outlining what exactly imperialism is, and China fits pretty well into that box. What? Do I know what? I don't understand what you're saying.
TOS little cuck.
So I think he's saying TOS little cuck. I think he's saying like T-slur little cuck is what he's trying to say. I guess if you scream slurs loud enough at a minority, I guess you win the debate.
See, this isn't Marxist behavior in the slightest. Like, I knew you weren't really a communist. Communists are capable of actually engaging in a dialectic. You give me your points, I'll give you my points. We can meet in the middle and come to a mutual understanding.
I'm the only real communist that you see in the United States.
Like, let me ask you a question.
Is what it is. It's your brand or you're getting fascism. That's the reality. Either you support the MAGA communists that are fighting against the LGBT.
Oh, he's a MAGA communist, so he's a Haas fan, so he's an Infrared fan. Okay, he's copying Infrared. That makes sense.
I need you to know you're yelling so loud you're blowing out your microphone and no one in chat can understand what you're saying.
You're fighting against the LGBTQCIA agenda, are you not? Is that what you're actually trying to say? Because that's the only real communists are fighting against that. You aren't fighting against that.
What?
We know you're not fighting against that because you're literally promoting the LGBTQCIA
So is Cuba
agenda.
not communist?
I mean, it's really not communist anymore. It's clearly been taken over by the U.S. imperialists.
You would get kicked out of...
It's actually fucking crazy. This thought just hit me, and it just blew me away. That Shoe on Head is actually politically closer to this guy than she is to Keffals. Like, all these things are the kind of thing that Shoe would actually agree with, funnily enough. Like the LGBTQ CIA agenda, the anti-vax stuff, the like MAGA communism. Like, if Shuan had heard about MAGA communism, you better believe she'd be on board.
Any communist organization anywhere
I
for
don't
making
care.
that
I'm
statement.
I'm already banned from the CPUSA. I'm already banned from the PCUSA. I'm already banned from PSL. I don't give a shit.
And why do you think that
you
is?
think I give a shit? Why do I think that is? Because the overwhelming majority of communist organizations in the United States are bought and controlled by the CIA, the FBI, and the U.S. State Department. And we know this for a fact.
No. When he says fight against the TOS, he's using TOS as a stand-in word for slurs. He means the T slur. When he yells TOS, he means a slur that he can't say because he'll get banned off Twitch. But he's probably going to get banned off Twitch anyway because he's said several slurs already before Keffals is like, by the way, I'm streaming this on Twitch. And he streams on Twitch.
So, did you want to continue with the conversation about China? Like, I get it. You hate that I'm trans. It's fine, but it's really not relevant to the conversation.
You know you're not being honest about any topic, whether we're talking about China or we're talking about Russia.
I've
or we're
only
talking
quoted
about
Chinese
Gaddafi's
documents, so unless you're
Libya,
saying that the
or we're
Chinese
arguing about
Communist
Saddam
Party is
Hussein and
dishonest,
Iraq, whether you're, no matter who you're talking about, you're not coming from an honest angle. It doesn't matter what you read. It doesn't matter what context you try to put in, because the core of it is that you support the LGBTQIA agenda.
So you're
Therefore,
telling
you know
me
you cannot
that
be trusted
reading
on
theory
literally
isn't
any
necessary
topic.
to being a
We literally
communist.
cannot trust you on any topic because you don't even know if you're a man or a woman.
You're telling me reading theory has
she knows
nothing to do
she's
with
a
being a
woman.
communist? Like, you can just...
You cannot actually...
I like how they say... I feel like the response to every time they say, you don't know if you're a man or a woman should just be, yeah, I know, I'm a, and then whatever your gender is if you're trans. Like it's a straw man. It's them trying desperately to make being trans look ridiculous. Like, you don't even know if you're a man or a woman. It's like, really? That's your gotcha? I'm pretty sure it isn't the other gotcha that trans people are so obsessed with their gender identity that they're telling everybody about it all the time and they're forcing it on everybody else, but now all of a sudden they don't know it? It's just the most disjointed list of possible, like, stereotypes and insults you can think of is what these people push.
Articulate theory in any constructive way whatsoever.
I mean, I can, if you would be willing to calm down and actually have the discussion. I'm more than willing to.
Any point. You cannot argue any point until you admit you're
Every
a man.
time I try to set up an
Until you admit
argument,
you're a
you
man.
get really mad and you
Fuck
start
you
going
setting
off
up-
about
I don't give a
trans
shit about you
issues.
setting up an argument. You think I'm here so you can set up arguments, bitch?
Yes, this
The
was
fuck you think
what
this
the point
is?
of a debate
The fuck you
was.
think this is? Be real with yourself.
Be real with
yourself.
myself?
I'm the motherfucking Yankee Tankie, bitch. No one gets to come and construct fucking arguments when it comes to me.
So
I
you're not a
fucking tear down
communist?
Everything before you even try to fucking start an argument. Why? Because that's what the Yankee Tankie is all about. It's revealing the garbage, revealing the
He's like a Redditor that actually thinks he's badass. He's so fucking, like, internet tough guy right now. It's insane. Oh my god, the amount of weakness this guy must experience in his daily life. Do you think he goes outside? Do you think he, like, can talk to people at the register when he has to buy groceries or whatever? Or, like, if he goes to the store to buy, like, anything? Do you think he can talk, like, can he talk over the phone? This is not a guy who can go outside and have a conversation with, like, people in public. People like this who have this type of behavior would, like, they get arrested if they go out in public and they do this sort of thing. I'm pretty sure he's homeless. Yeah, like, a lot of these tanky types don't actually make that much money, so they do live together. So it's possible this guy lives with, like, Haas or whatever. Like, he might actually be, like, homeless and living with Haas. Isn't he homeless? He is always outside? Oh, yeah, so is he actually, like, confirmed homeless? That makes sense. Okay.
trash, revealing the garbage and trash.
I mean, so far all I've got from you is you hate Mao, you think China is dishonest.
This guy's literally a homeless Redditor. This guy's literally a homeless Redditor who's, like, having a mental breakdown and getting blown the fuck out, but he's so delusional he thinks he's, like, winning right now, so he's, like, he's like, gloating about how much he's winning, but he's also just, he's actually just having a schizo breakdown. It's the Joker. It's that scene from The Jonker where he's on the stage and he thinks he's giving this amazing, like stand-up and everyone's clapping, but then he sees the video and it replays and he realizes everyone was laughing at him and he was, like, completely fucking it up. Yeah, he's gone full Jonker mode.
You don't think China's socialist, you don't think Cuba's socialist. It just sounds like you're not very much of a Marxist-Leninist at all. Like, I've met Marxist-Leninists from all across the world, and none of them act like you or have these very bizarre esoteric beliefs.
I'm not on the left. I am a right-wing communist. You fucking moron. I'm a MAGA communist. I never...
Only real communists are right-wing. I'm curious to see if he thinks the Nazis are socialists, because I bet he'll say yes. He'll say, yeah, the Nazis are socialist. I'm one of them.
Pretended to be on the left. Fuck the left. The left is going to lead us down the pathway of destruction. The left is going to always side with Big Pharma. The left is always going to side with the U.S.
This is unironically where Shu is headed, funnily enough. It's hilarious how correct that take was earlier. Like, this is literally like... Yeah, this is Nazgul Vortex shit. I do worry about this type of stuff blowing up. It doesn't really seem like it's going to, as long as, like, Haas, the mental breakdown haver, and this guy, the also mental breakdown haver, are two of its biggest, like, proponents, as well as Redface, Spanky Boy, Moppin. But Christ, you know, I do worry about people falling for this shit, you know? Thinking that you can be conservative and pro-worker. It's not possible. It's diametrically opposed to each other.
Imperialists, they're always going to side with the nonprofit organizations. They're always going to do that. They're bought and paid for. The right wing is where the real revolutionary movement in the United States is, and by Karl Marx standard, the right wing in the United States is the actual left wing of the United States.
Christ.
Are you finished? Can I make my point now?
He's doing the Redditor nod, too.
Stopping TOS.
Notice his little Redditor nod?
So, you were wrong about base and superstructure.
No, I'm not. It's
yes.
new Marxist analysts.
Yes, you are, because the base isn't just the means of production, and the means of production refers to tools, machines, factories, land, raw material. But the base is also the relations of production.
Just like Lenin.
Huh?
Just like Lenin.
Just like Lenin what?
Just like Lenin. Shut the fuck up. Just like Lenin.
Just like Lenin.
Just like Lenin expanded from Karl Marx with his ideological differences, realizing that Karl Marx wasn't completely right. Lenin expanded on Karl Marx.
What?
And likewise,
how did Lenin change base and superstructure?
Lenin changed a lot of different things. I'm doing the same thing here.
Wait, so you're changing Marxist theory on the fly in order to win an argument about Marxist theory?
What the material it's not on the fly. I have been examining these conditions for an extremely long time. We can recognize that what the current global order and how things are set up now, it's not even capitalism anymore. It's socialism.
So you realize how silly that is? Because like when the Communist Party of China says that it's analyzing, when they say that they're analyzing material conditions, every single national congress, they are analyzing the economic data of every factory in the country in order to come to conclusions about the material conditions. Because material conditions aren't about your feelings; they're about actual raw data.
The only thing silly right now, Keffals, is the fact that you don't recognize what gender you are.
That's so true. You totally own me there.
It's fucking hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. You're a fucking goofball. Regular old goofball. Silly fucking goofball. It's what you fucking are.
That's so true.
He's trying to do the Noah Samson style, like, video essayist comedy now after having a mental breakdown and screaming slurs.
Gender you actually are, okay?
Are you, like, horny for me now?
The facts are
100%. Okay? There are two types of transphobes. Okay? And this dichotomy applies to two different categories, okay? It's a combination of these four things, but there are two types, if that makes sense, right? Every transphobe is either retarded or a pedophile or retarded or a chaser, or a combination. That's how it goes. Every time. Every single time. So, yeah. It's the triangle. Some transphobes are just retarded, and they grow out of it. Some are pedophiles, and their transphobia is them using the, just trying to deflect. And some of them are chasers, and they are very self-hating about it. Those are the three combinations. All transphobes, including TERFs, this applies to, yeah.
So usually when people call me a silly little goofball, they start making out with me afterwards.
If we actually examine the material conditions as they exist, we no longer exist under capitalism. We live under socialism for the rich. The mode of production, which is separate from the means of production, okay, has become socialized.
Bro, this weed is so strong I got moose-like reflexes right now.
That is what the information age is. That is what the fourth industrial revolution is. That's the conditions in which we exist. That the mode of production has changed.
What is the
means
relations of production?
Has not. I'm not fucking done, Keffals. Okay.
I'm just asking you to explain to my audience, which is full of like forced feminized CIA cucks, and I don't think they know what the relations of production are. So maybe you could explain it to them.
The mode of production is
no
separate from the
relations.
means
Relations of production.
The relationship between the mode and the means of production, while they still are part of the section of the base, are two separate parts of the base. And so the base is still controlled by the American and Western superstructure, but the mode of production, the amount of the kind of technology has inherently socialized. What the information age is, the fourth industrial revolution.
That didn't explain what is the relations of production.
I'm not fucking done, Keffals. Shut the fuck up.
No, you're going on a tangent. I just want you to explain.
Shut the fuck up. If you're going to go on a tangent, I'm going to go on a tangent.
I'm not on a tangent.
Fucking TOS. Now, let's fucking focus here with your ADHD brain and fucking focus on what I'm fucking talking about. So, the base and the superstructure might still be two separate segments, but the superstructure only has control of the base, but it doesn't mean that the technology that's being utilized isn't socialist just due to the ownership. In fact, it is inherently socialist because
this doesn't answer the question.
Social means of production.
The question was, what is the relations of production? Explain without explaining base or superstructure. These are different concepts.
No, I will continue to say what I'm saying because what you're trying to argue is irrelevant to the point.
I wasn't arguing anything. I was asking a question.
I don't give a shit what you were trying to ask me. I'm telling you how it fucking is, you fucking TOS. Now, let's fucking focus here if you're fucking addled HDA porn brain.
What?
The facts are that the base of production.
Oh, this guy's a porn addict too. Yeah, every guy you see on the internet who's like anti-porn or whatever is a porn addict. I don't know if you guys like the no-fap dudes are either like actively or ex-porn addicts, and they can't conceive of somebody who can like healthily consume porn. Like they think that everybody has to jack off like, I don't know, like once a day or 2 times a day, which is not generally normal if that's how much you need to be jacking off. And so they assume that everybody has that problem, and they project their like porn addiction, their masturbation addiction, or sex addiction on everybody. And so they'll just come out of nowhere with porn-addled brain as like an insult, and it's like, oh, you're one of those people. You're a porn addict. Not Zan calling it every 13-year-old. I don't think it's normal to jack off even that often. Like, I'd say I jack off maybe like 3 times a week. Generally, yeah. It's about right. Yeah. That's generally 2 to 3 times a week.
Been socialized. Even if the ownership has not changed, the base of the structure has been socialized through the fourth industrial revolution. And what that means is that we no longer have a for-profit system.
Okay, but can you explain what the relations of production is?
I'm not fucking done. We do not have...
Lightweight? Listen, that doesn't account for how much sex I'm having. None.
Keffals, we're not fucking done here. Focus your porn-addled, ADH fucking D.
Look, I've been very charitable to you.
Minutes.
I know you don't know what you're talking about, but I wanted to give you a chance to explain.
You fucking TOS fucking focus.
I have taken an entire college course at a Chinese university on socialism with Chinese characteristics. For you to do that, to just say I don't know what I'm talking about, just really reveals that most of your politics is from like r/politics balls. Let's be honest.
For 2 minutes, your porn-addled brain is incapable.
How do you know my brain is porn-addled? How do you know my brain is porn-addled, exactly?
You're fucking porn-addled. It's obvious you're porn-addled. You're pretending to be a fucking woman. Now, let's fucking focus with your ADHD.
How am I pretending to be a woman?
Let's focus with your ADHD.
I mean, I've been focusing.
Brain.
I've been asking you to explain one concept. Just one Marxist concept. And you can't explain it. You know you don't know what it means, so you keep pivoting.
Fucking TOS. You porn-addled TOS. Shut the fuck up. No one cares.
No one cares about what?
Shut the fuck up, you porn-addled brain.
How am I
porn-addled?
I would just start, like, going, over this guy to see how much I could make him lose his mind. If somebody is, like, so clearly emotionally, weak like this, I can't help but try to make them, like, ideally, like, start breaking shit. Like, I want to debate this guy just so I can make him start breaking shit. I just want to start, like, talking over him and saying, like, I think that America should conquer China. I just want to go on the most, like, pro-America rant ever. Like, very pro-imperialism, pro-America, pro-capitalism, all that. And just make this guy, like, start smashing shit around him on camera until, like, his computer breaks, and then we just hear him leave the call. That's what I want to do with this guy. I feel like I could make him do that. Zan just wants to bully mentally ill people. Yes. But only the Tankies and the Nazis, who are all mentally ill, so that does work out well.
Shut the fuck up, porn-addled.
How?
Now,
explain.
Shut the fuck up, you fucking true.
Can you explain to me why you can't have a conversation about Chinese politics without devolving into transgender slurs?
Shutting the fuck up when I'm talking to you.
Okay, so I muted him again because he can't have this conversation like a grown-up without calling me slurs, which, you know, I haven't actually insulted him in any way like that. This is really a behavioral issue on his part and probably why he's been banned from all these organizations. The relationship of production refers to the relationship between different classes in society and the relationship to private property, capital, and commodities in that society. If the base of a society is not socialist, the superstructure cannot be socialist. Okay, you back? You ready?
Okay, now, as I was saying, the superstructure, while it still has control of the base, no longer is as you're trying to explain it. It no longer exists in that capacity. And the evidence is that our system is no longer for profit. We are existing within a fourth industrial revolution that has changed the mode of production, not the means, the mode of production, to a socialized mode of production. This has fundamentally changed how the U.S. imperialists operate. Because while the same people are still under control of the system, they're not able to operate in the same way they did under an imperialist monopoly capitalist system, which is no longer existing. We now have socialism for the rich. Corporations and monopolies have effectively merged with the state. It's a form of either, whether you want to call it fascism or socialism for the rich, whatever the case you might want to categorize that is, the facts are that we no longer operate for profit. There is no longer an anarchy of production. And it's been proven. Look at what situation happened with Bud Light. The beer that all these right-wingers are trying to actually, boycott or whatever, the company that owns Bud Light, they're still making a shit ton of fucking money. Why? Because they own almost all of the fucking beer companies. They already own a monopoly, right? And that's how monopolies operate in the 21st century. Monopolies don't operate like they did in the 20th.
That's not how... That's not an argument against that's not an argument in favor of what he believes. The argument that a company can do something for one brand that will appeal to one group politically and still have the people that get mad about it buy another brand that belongs to their company, so they're maximizing their profits on either side. Like, that's definitely capitalism and caring about the bottom line and profit. I assure you companies are not anti-profit.
Century, where it was just about crushing competition and maximizing profits. Now, monopolies operate not for profit, but to maintain the social structure, maintain the superstructure from the top. No amount of profits matter anymore. There is no anarchy.
I kind of agree with you, but it is wrong-headed. They control the base, not the superstructure, but because they control the base, they're allowed to influence the superstructure. Whoever controls the economy controls society.
Right, which is why it is no longer capitalist. It is socialist or fascist or whatever you want to categorize it as.
Why were you being so aggressive?
It is socialist or fascist or whatever you want to categorize it as. Okay. Okay.
If we actually had the dialectic in the first place, we could have come to a conclusion. Like, we just agreed with each other.
Because you're a fucking TOS. I'm immediately going to be competitive with you because you're a TOS.
Why?
Now, if maybe, just maybe, You were one of the TOSs that actually didn't push the agenda down your throat. Maybe we can
This
have
is
a reasonable
really-
conversation.
this is really
But
sad,
you
dude.
advocate for the LGBTQ-CIA agenda.
So you
it
think
is
that my
irrelevant.
plot is that I
Any
want to
argument you're
reduce the
making, even if
population,
you
but
accidentally
here you
agree with
are
me, is
defending the
irrelevant
country that had
because
the
you are
one-child
TOS.
policy.
The one-child policy was a mistake. I agree with that, but that doesn't mean I stopped supporting China. There's many policies that China has
least
done,
he
like,
admits
for
it's
example,
real.
the zero-COVID policy. I disagreed with that policy.
A lot of
right?
tankies say
but
it's
at the
not
end
real.
of the day, though, that's not the primary contradiction. The primary contradiction is U.S. imperialism.
That's
How do we
not true.
dismantle it?
Imperialism is
No,
not
that
the
is.
primary
That is.
contradiction in China.
I am an American citizen.
Yes?
What I care about is tearing apart the U.S. imperialist state. Right? So why does Chinese policy matter to me?
Because we're having an argument about Chinese policy.
Unless China's policies specifically are damaging U.S. Anti-imperialists and their ability to overthrow.
They are,
our
because
current
China is an
system,
imperialist
they are
country.
not. No, that's incorrect. No, China is actually benefiting us by splitting up the unipolar
What are you?
world
Have you
and creating
seen
a
any of the
multipolar
analysis of
world.
African communist parties and what they believe about China's neo-colonialist practices?
I think that they're irrelevant because
You
they
think
don't
that
understand the
African
primary
communists are
contradiction.
irrelevant?
Yes, yeah. If the African communists are
He doesn't believe that. Okay, he'll say, no, China isn't doing imperialism in Africa, and then she'll give examples of how China is doing imperialism in Africa, and he'll say, no, that's actually China providing aid to Africa and improving their economy and building them up. And it's like, okay, so you admit that's real, so let's talk about what African communist parties think of that. No, they're irrelevant. That's how this is going to go. Guarantee it. Guarantee it's how that's going to go.
siding against China, siding against Russia, siding against the multipolar world, and siding with the unipolar world. They are my enemy. I don't care if you call yourself a communist. It's irrelevant. There's plenty of people in the United States and other Western countries that call
African
themselves
communists are
and
your
they're my
enemy.
enemy too. Anyone who is not fighting effectively against the U.S.
Because you
imperialist
don't
world
read Lenin.
is my enemy.
And if you read Lenin, you would understand how China is an imperialist country.
I have expanded on Lenin. Lenin is not. Marxism doesn't remain the same. Okay. Okay.
You don't even know. When I was trying to, when I showed you that the primary contradiction in China is not imperialism, you just said, "Why does it matter?"
You fucking TOS.
This is crazy, dude. You actually can't have a conversation about theory. You have to go back to trans issues because it's an easy win for you.
You won't shut the fuck up. If you don't shut the fuck up,
it's not
I'm
even
gonna
a
go
win,
back to
is
this
it?
fucking issue.
I have been so nice to you this entire time.
Interrupt me. I don't want you to be nice to me. I want you to be rude. I want you to be who you fucking actually are. I don't.
What do you
give a
mean
shit
who I
on your
actually
fucking
am? I'm
niceties.
trying to have this
I know
debate
who
with
you
you.
actually are. You advocate for the LGBTQ CIA agenda. You are my enemy, and it doesn't matter what you fucking say. It doesn't matter.
So you don't think
You are
China's
inherently my
relevant?
enemy.
Thank God this guy is, like, stupid and insane enough to go mask off with what all these conservatives believe and just say it. By the way, this is what Matt Walsh and, like, every other conservative means when they talk about trans people. They want to kill you.
For as long as you advocate for the LGBTQ CIA agenda. I don't care the fact that you're trans, okay?
You
There are good
actually
trans
do.
people and there's
You
bad
really
trans
do.
people, and you're a bad trans person is what it gets down to.
That's true. I am very much a
You
bad
are
trans
a bad
person.
trans
However, would you
person.
like to actually
How
have...
many times does he switch between hating trans and gay people to there being some okay trans and gay people?
It's
the
not
discussion
your
about
personal
Chinese
choice.
politics.
It has
He
nothing to
switched
do
back
with
and
your
forth
personal
like
choice.
4 times.
You advocate for this shit because you're
All right,
trying to
this is
reduce
irrelevant to the
fucking
arguments you were making about
You're
China.
trying to reduce
And
the
I would
fucking
kindly like you to get
population.
back onto the
You're trying to
topic at
reduce the
hand.
population. I'd love to. Shut the fuck up and let me speak, and then you will be allowed to speak when I fucking tell you you're allowed to speak.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, I'm getting so horny.
He's a fucking Redditor. Oh my God, he's talking like he does to his Discord kittens. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's like he wishes he had Discord kittens. I always thought a really good prank to pull on a conservative, like, figure like this guy would be to, like, start the debate with the guy and be like, hey man, so friend of mine swiped your SD card the other day. Yeah. Sent it to me. Found some stuff on there. Now we can bring this conversation into private, or I can just show what I found and bring it up on screen to show stream. I had to censor it, but you know I can do that and see what their reaction is. That would be the prank, is see what their reaction is to me saying that with a dead fucking, like I'm Chris Hansen, dead fucking eyed, dead face. Just like make it look like I have something I'm about to expose unless they come into like a private call, like private with me. And if they start freaking out and ask to go into a private call, then it's like, whoa, I was kidding. Wait, what do you have to hide, bro? What's on your SD card, dude? Wait, you were worried. What is going on, man? What were you worried about me showing, dude? Yeah, I was just joking. That would go so fucking hard, dude. That is a prank I came up with when I was like washing my hair in the shower like a month ago, and I've been thinking about that for a while now, because so many of these conservative figures end up being pedophiles. You know, they've got shit on their stuff. So like, what if you just really effectively and believably bluffed that you had access to something on their computer and you were going to show it unless they did something, and then they freak out and do it, and you're like, whoa, I was just kidding, what did you think I had? Like, that would be, oh my god, that would go so hard. That would go so hard.
Thank you, Daddy. I'll shut up.
Of course, you fucking people just always fucking go right back to the degeneracy. Fucking weirdo.
You're the one who's being
Anyhow.
all horny up in here. I didn't do shit.
The fuck are you talking about, you fucking weirdo? I'm fucking talking, and then you're fucking trying to turn it into some sort of sexual kink. Because you're a fucking porn-addled degenerate. But that's fucking besides the point. You just can't help yourself.
That's true. So, like,
Now,
why did
with
you
that
get so
being fucking
aggressive
said,
when I was
instead
talking
of
about what the
trying to
primary
act as a
contradiction
like you're trying
is?
to fucking sexually assault me, instead of you're trying to fucking sexually assault me with your fucking, fucking TOS shit right now, okay?
What?
Let's actually fucking talk about what I'm actually trying to talk about here, okay? The fucking system that exists right now is no longer
This guy's definitely a chaser. He cannot help but make this conversation about sex. With Keffals, he literally, like, he's a chaser. He's 100% a chaser. Here, let me show you an example of, like, a piece of evidence of how big of chasers transphobes are, okay? I watch a podcast. I've shown this clip on stream before. You guys loved it. I watch a podcast, certainly not for the political takes they have on there, trust me. On the... called PKA, all right? And they have some pretty cringe takes politically, okay? They have some pretty cringe political takes. Here's the thing, though. Finster was like a longtime PKA fan from like back in the day, and decided that he was going to go on to PKA because he's got like prominence now and stuff, and just kind of go on there. And by being like, obviously it's a cool moment for him and stuff, but I have a feeling he wanted to kind of like exist there as a troll a little bit. And Kyle, aka FPS Russia, who is probably the most transphobic person on that podcast. Let me just let me show you this clip. It's called 14 minutes of Kyle flirting with Finster, okay? This is every transphobe, okay? When they're put in a situation where they have to talk to a trans person, but they have to be polite, okay?
Yeah, I worry about all that. Now, I am vaccinated and boosted, in case anyone wants to know. So if I get it...
I see Finster adjust her titties.
I could just sit here doing this.
Fucking pop them. Let's go.
Yeah, like that whole like elbow trick thing completely works for me. Yeah.
He's not a slut.
I am.
Okay, he is. That's like the definition of a...
Yeah.
To save the mother.
To save the mom, or they've gotten some horrible medical news about this baby.
Yeah, it'd be like a stillbirth or something.
Or it's going to like be born with its heart on the outside with no eyes or something.
Yep. And you know, and this is a kid, like I said, 7-8 months in, they were very much looking forward to little baby. And so anyway, the whole third trimester argument against abortion, I feel like they misrepresent their side when they do it.
Yeah.
Like, Kyle's just staring at Finster, and Finster's just like, with the fucking...
Yeah, Finster's over there covering up under Kyle's chauvinist gaze.
I don't think anyone spotted it. When I went like this, you can kind of get what I mean when I did this. You see what I mean?
I see it.
I spotted it.
Yeah. That's what it looks like all the time when I was talking about that trick.
All the hosts are transphobic, by the way, but I'd say Kyle's probably the most transphobic of them in regards to like the things he said.
Yeah, mush them together.
Mush them together.
God, that's so unsexy, I think.
It started on the nipple area and like grew out from there, and I hated that look because I just had that like middle tuft here and then just hairy ass nipples and then like enough hair around it to be noticeable. And I remember once in the bathroom, like before school, it was like swimming in gym or something, and I was like shaving around my nipples, and it wasn't until after I did it that like I was like, this is the worst look imaginable because
really?
it's just two perfectly clean
yes,
areas
RPK,
around
yeah,
my nipples.
several times.
Oh, because you've got other hair.
Because I had
It's
other
just
hair.
targets.
Yeah.
You underestimate how light your skin gets when there's no hair on it. I guarantee you saw that with your legs.
Just
I was
targets.
really shocked how like bright they look. I mean,
No,
it's gotta be-
because I shave my nipples too. Anywhere I want a girl's mouth to go, that's getting shaved.
there's gotta be like 1,000 people
Fair though.
that like would look far better than me, or like tens of thousands of people, millions
In
might
the
look.
world.
Yeah, of course. Oh, you know,
You're the
like,
hottest one here.
thank you. My ego.
How much of a donation are we going to need for you to get actual breast implants? I think that's what everyone wants to know.
I've said how much it would be. I think the number changes all the time, but it depends how long they be for. Because everyone's got a number for like how long for
Until
a
I
year.
finish.
Okay. I need you guys to know that all transphobes, for the most part, are chasers, okay? A lot of transphobia comes from, like, self-hatred for being attracted to trans people. But they're goblins, okay? They're gawk goblins. I don't even like the term chaser. I wanna make gawk goblin a thing, okay? I want that to be the word we use for chasers instead of chaser. Gawk goblin. The biggest transphobes are also the biggest gawk goblins, believe me. Every time. And you better believe, I bet TERFs, like lesbian TERFs, are massive, are massive, bussy... What's a B? What's a word that starts with B that's like for a monster? But monster. Bussy beggars. Yeah, they're bussy beggars. Bussy bandits. Thank you. How do you spell that? G-O-C-K. Gawk goblin. Yes, thank you. Very good. Okay, everybody. All cops are cops. Thank you for the $5 donation. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Said you should private this VOD and have Cherry edit out the sentences about baiting Tank into breaking shit. Don't give up the game. It's important that you're allowed to pull that. Yeah, no. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to engage this guy because I don't want to give him attention. But if I ever end up on a panel show with him, I think that's what I'll do because that seems like a really good idea. Oh my god. Thank you all, cops are cops. Alright, everybody. I'm tired. I need to raid into somebody and wrap up stream and get some shut-eye. Who am I raiding today? Oh, Dylan's live. Let's go. Let's go. All right, everybody. Go raid into Dylan. Go send some love. All right? You need to go over there. You need to be kind. You need to be awesome. You need to be epic. All right? I'm going to drop the link to his stream in the chat. Go say Zan raid. I really do appreciate it, everybody. Or Zan host is more accurate, but yeah. All right, everybody. Have a good one, guys. You've been amazing, and I'll see you all tomorrow.